Don't worry about all the all the text from our conversations that you can see. That's that's not a thing. Ha ha ha. Quince. Anyway, hello. It's just me for now. What's up? How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Hopefully soon. My boy, my boy Aiden will be here. What a start to season 4, huh? what a what a start. Uh, Welcome to TableTalk discussion and discourse. I, as always, am your host, Alejo, aka Great on 95. And welcome to season 4 of the show. We're doing some new stuff. As you can see, we even have a new logo. You know, the other thing that I didn't do was post this on the Discord like a dumb. That was something that I should have done a while ago. But hey, there you go. There's that, and then I should also post on Twitter. So don't mind me while I do the things that I should have done a while ago. Twist right at the start. Exactly, Slay. Exactly. I'm having a great moment of of not knowing or not doing everything that I was supposed to. Scuffed already, huh? Scuffed already. Nice new background. Thank you. Yes. I'll talk about it a bit more in a second. While I tweet out that we're starting, because I forgot to. We talk about actually, you know what? This is completely, behind the curtain-ish, but like, man, I don't understand hashtags and shit. I don't know. I'm very bad at this, and I got some tips from oh, okay. Aiden will be here soon. Don't worry. But I got some tips from keep it under 7. Oh yeah, no, of course. I only try to do at most 3, you know? But what was I saying? Oh my god, my brain is fucking melting. Whew! It is... Why can't I remember his... I can look at the Discord. What am I talking about? Hold on. It was... Yeah, Tyreek in our Discord. Who does the fuck. Bramble. That's it. Oh god, I'm so sorry. If you're listening, I'm so sorry. I'm so bad with my brain on names and stuff when it's not right in front of me. But I know you. After 7 hashtags, it really starts lower visibility. Fair enough. Okay. So, hello. As I was saying, we have the new logo. This was also drawn by my friend who did our new PFPs. PFPs. I don't think I enunciated that well enough. But yeah, C Maniac, at C Maniac 123 on Twitter. The link will be in the description. If I didn't put it there already, it will be on the VOD. Nice logo. Yes, thank you. It will also be merch. Hey, that's a thing. Don't worry about it. But do you ever find yourself saying things like, "We'll be joined later by the ghost guy or the guy with the voice"? Yeah. Ha ha ha. Anyway. There we go. Okay. So, yeah. I got in contact with my friend, and I was like, "Hey, can we have a new logo?" And they were like, "Yeah, I'll get you a new logo." So yeah, now we have this new logo. Too real, absolutely. Don't call me out like that, Steely. But yeah, this will be also, and it is right now also on TeePublic. But again, I'll talk about more of that later. Big thanks to my friend. So yeah, hope it's gonna be a mainstay for a while. It's gonna be really cool. Anyway, that being said, tonight we're gonna be talking about a couple of things. As usual, we're gonna be talking about nerds and D&D, and not nerds as in the colloquial term for people that are nerdy. No. We're talking about the candy. Nerds, like Willy Wonka candy. And we're going to be talking about the modules that you can get from buying nerds. It's strange. We have access to one because it's Halloween season. Did you know that? Candy is hard to find. Those are tasty. Dude, nerds are pretty okay. But I think it's interesting that we have the partnership and that you can get a free PDF out of them. Still collecting the Nerds modules? Cool. Yeah, we only have the one right now, and we're going to be looking at a few of them over the course of the next few weeks. See if there's anything that's different, see or at least just see the construction of each, and then ending it off with the big actual full party adventure that they have, because I'm interested to see how that goes. And yeah, that's gonna be a thing. Other than that, we will later on be talking about Homebrew, some Homebrew stuff, and we're going to be getting ideas and such from you guys in the chat, as well as each other. We'll be talking about some stuff that we want to work on. I have a couple of things, and I know Aiden does, and if Boo comes up with something, we will do that as well. But for now, that's that. There will also be some interesting announcements for this week. We will get to them during the midpoint. But yeah, stay tuned. It'll be cool. So, for now, how much is a box of Nerds? First off, I don't actually know. Off the top of my head, let me go and look that up, because so the way that it works, for those who don't know, and I will bring it up on the screen right now, the module. This is the final page of the module, because I was looking at it. Not the final page, but the near final page. So this is Nerds. Hey? Oh, hey, I'm missing. Hi. This is the Candy Mountain Caper. This is, I believe, the first module, at least the one that we got first. I don't know if they do the same order every time or what. I have no idea. But all I do know is that you basically can get, with 6 boxes, you can get all 7 modules. Which means the full party is going to be 6 people. That's an interesting thought in itself, considering these are very much aimed towards new players. Children mostly, I would say. But it's interesting to see, and the dynamic I get is that it's supposed to be a parent and a child, right? Like that's how um they're splitting them up, or they're making them, work, is that it's the child, their parent, and then it's the solo adventure between the two. And at the very end with all six, man, I kind of hope that the kids are going to be disciplined enough in order to not, I don't know, scream at each other and stuff. I'm not trying to like, say that kids are like that all the time. What I am saying is that it is more than likely that kids are going to be a bit much when you group 6 of them together and you give them candy. Because they're going to want candy. Garibay is going to see this and say that Paizo should give up on Pathfinder. See, D&D has a NERDS deal. Game over, Paizo. Yeah, I swear to God. That would be one of his takes, wouldn't it? Like, isn't that already something that happens with adults? Well, yeah, that's true. Well, kids are a little harder to say, hey man, could you stop? And then they go, yeah, it's a little harder with them. But anyway, let's start looking at this Restoring Harmony, the Candy Mountain Caper. So it seems that, and what's interesting here is that the file that we got was just a file. It doesn't have a .pdf or anything to it. It is literally just a file, and it calls itself a file. In fact, I will bring it up and I will show you the file. Let me go into my studio mode and capture this really quick, because I find it very strange that this isn't just a PDF file. File, call it, and then this is, yes, that's what I want. And then I will shorten this a little bit so that you don't see all of my computer stuff. Oh. And then, yeah, that's a thing. Look at this. It's a file. It's just a file. Like, there's no PDF or anything. But you can just open it as a PDF. I don't know. Crazy. It's like, why would you do that? But hey, whatever, I guess. It's honestly, it seemed like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this is not a real thing. Or this is going to take me to a program that I have to open it in. Very Linux. Yeah. And like, I don't know. I guess it's so that if that's the case, then like, maybe it's so that it's compatible with like as many things as possible. I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with like Linux or any other operating system really. But regardless of that, what I did want to note is that this does have a link where you can click it to go and get the basic rules. It looks like it actually just starts the download. Yep. Interesting. Okay. I clicked it and it brought a pop-up. You didn't see it, but hey, there you go. So my everything is telling me that things are wrong, but nothing is wrong. Okay, we're good. So, it even has these here. Let me zoom in. We have Adventure 1, The Candy Mountain Caper. We have Adventure 2, A Voice in the Wilderness. Adventure 3, A Sticky Situation. 4 is Circus of Illusions. 5 is The Lost Tomb. 6 is A Web of Lies. And 7 is Adventure Together. So that's the progression, it looks like. And yeah, this is absolutely meant for one person, like, to play as the player character, which is the rogue in this instance, as is the cover. Right here, you have your rogue in front and center. And it's interesting that you have a TPK explanation here. You gotta teach them while they're young that life could cut you down immediately. I'm sorry. Oh. No. Okay, I see what this is now. I'm reading it. And it says, it's basically, hey, your child might be very sad if they die. If their little nerd character dies. So maybe you should just give them a potion of healing at some point so that they don't die immediately, because this is a solo adventure. And also, you can have somebody just run in and Hand of God save them. Or make it so that they don't die. That they're just dragged away somewhere that they don't want to be. Okay. Fair enough, I guess. So, that's I have a question then for everyone watching and listening. Are you okay with doing these kinds of Hand of God things for children? Are you okay with kind of really bending the rules and stuff for the children? Because I'm fine with it. Obviously, again, this is intended for younger audiences. Right off the bat, you could hear me going, "Oh, Hand of God" and everything, because it's not something that I would do. If this was a regular adventure, of course. There's no, but I assume that most people would kind of take it this route of like, hey, your kid, it doesn't understand that it's dangerous. Though, at the same time, I don't know. It's weird, right? It's a little weird to put them in that situation, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, for kids, you dumb things down enough so that they can kind of gather what they need to out of a situation, but not so much to the point that you want to insult their intelligence, right? Yeah, make it fun for younger kids. Once they become teens, kill them with an owlbear because they don't care. That's true. You know what? That's fair. It's a good philosophy to live by. I always find it interesting because around here, there is a library that I used to go to, and we would play D&D there. And they had this D&D kind of program. That's how my Wednesday group started. It was because of that program. And I was like, hey, there are people here playing D&D. I guess I'll go, right? And I joined my group, and we've been friends since, which is great. But I don't... So there was another group that was younger kids. I didn't really sit in on what they did, ever. But I heard them yelling, like, a lot. They were very loud, the children. And so I was like, okay. So how far do they get to, like, experience the actual reality of D&D, right? Because they were using D&D itself, right? And they weren't using it like a kid's version, because there are some TTRPGs out there that are like for kids, to get them started. So I wonder if death is ever like a thing that you would give them. I'm seeing replace TPK with TKO, which I would agree with. For children, probably have them be knocked out, not die. Because I don't know if you can, if like, because for us as adults, having a character die can be like emotional, and I don't know if kids can handle that as much. Yes, help the kid not get their character killed, but try to finesse it so that it's not no consequences. For example, they could lose treasure or have setback in the quest, or like Mog says, TKO. Okay, so I like the idea of instead of having it be death, it is a punishment of some sort. Not necessarily you are actively trying to punish the child's character. You're just showing them that something bad will happen if they die, quote unquote, if they get knocked out, and like it also becomes a bigger motivator for the children because at least what I'm thinking now, the child might go, oh, he took my stuff, because you like their gold is gone, and so whoever it was, maybe they left them, without their gold. They go, oh, I gotta find that guy and I gotta go get my gold back, right? Like it becomes a plot hook for them, which is way easier to do for the kid who goes, this is mine. I need this. Why did you take this? I will get you, and I will take it back because it is mine. So I have a bit of a, not a contention, but a concern with children and D&D specifically. Like younger children. Like let's say this is 10 and under, eh? Maybe less than that. Cuz like I've heard of people getting their kids into D&D at like 6. Whenever they can get them to read or something, right? In which case I go, that's cool. How much, like, okay, how am I trying to word this? I don't, like I said before, I don't want it to be dumbed down to the point of like making their, like having them having their intelligence be, or having them be talked down to, I guess. It's got to be like a good children's story or like a good kids movie where you can get more out of it, I think, than just at face value. Because the kid at face value is going to go through the adventure and be like, ah, yeah, I did the thing, I saved the day, all that kind of stuff. But how you can actually make that line occur of like, this is a story that has layers. Will the child, maybe the child won't necessarily understand the layers of this story and like morality and all that kind of stuff, right? But it's also something where you want to try to teach them a little bit, not in a heavy-handed way of like, drugs are bad, kid, right? Like, don't go in the dark alley. There's a nerd man there who is trying to give you something. Oh, is that Aiden? I think that's Aiden. Yes. Okay. What? Hello.
And I, as usual, am your second host, ItsSneakyAdolf.
There he is, the boy.
Back at it again, fresh from dealing with rotors.
Nice. Okay. Well, we've started talking about the NERDS thing. Just looking at the module and such, and I will get you your links that you love to have. First off, the chat link. Second off, the link to the actual stream.
Yes, so that I may shamelessly self-promote.
Of course, as you should.
Delicious. It's all for the good of the stream.
Of course.
The good of the channel.
Yes, always. Everything we do. um So I think it really comes down to what the children's backgrounds are. If they play a lot of games, you can be more realistic. If they don't, then maybe come from a Pokemon style combat. Okay. Guy in the alley trying to get you hooked on magic cards. Yes.
Alright, speaking of which, actually, I had this on my mind literally 3 minutes ago because I was debating whether or not I would share it in the stream because it's not technically our forte, but then you said the keyword Pokemon. So they just released a normal ghost type Pokemon.
Okay.
Which for those of you who have type advantages like tattooed on their brain like I do, a normal ghost type means it's immune to normal, fighting, and ghost type attacks.
Mm-hmm.
It has 3 immunities and 1 weakness. That's it.
Yep. Okay.
And
normal ghost.
and super strong against psychic and ghost.
Yep. Get fucked.
Yeah, Hisuian Zorua Mog.
Hisuian Zorua, man, dude.
Zorua and Zoruark.
Sure, man. Sure. Man, I stopped paying attention so long ago, you know?
Yeah, for someone who has like nearing 400 competitively viable Pokemon and like a living dex, this is like Scratch's arm with crackhead energy.
I understand. But yeah, so I'm coming back to the topic at hand. I was talking about how I think it's difficult and like not impossible, but I think it's very difficult to like draw the line of where you would make a adventure that is specifically for kids, that isn't heavy-handed in like trying to teach them something and like be layered enough that it's something that might actually be, you know, a good kind of thing for the child as well, right? It's not just go kill the guy, get the thing, you know, like they might take it only as at that surface value because they're a child, right? Like they might not see the depth, but I mean, it's still something that is like it's like a good like I said before, like a good kids movie that has like actual depth and nuance to it, where you can kind of revisit it and like it be, you know, solid. And then there's also
what the fuck do I open up this file type as?
You gotta open it in Reader. It's I talked about that too. It's just a file, but it is a PDF.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
There we go.
Yeah. Don't worry, we're on page 2.
Is that including the cover page?
Yes.
Fantastic.
I was just talking about how it's explaining TPKs as well, and like which is important if you have something that is a solo adventure, because these all are solo adventures besides the 7th. But it like I initially was like, oh, you hand of God them because they're a child, right? Like, and like I get that, that's fine, but I liked what we got in the chat before of like, instead of having it be hand of godding things, have it be if they do get downed and like they're dead, quote unquote, right? They can come back and as like being knocked out and like they've lost something, right? It becomes something that has consequence, but isn't necessarily, you can't play the game anymore, right? Because this is intended for children. Like it is 100% intended for children. And regardless of the fact that I don't like, because my brain goes, you're still hand of godding it, right? A little bit, right? Regardless of my personal dislike of that, I know that it's for the betterment of the child and their fun. Like, because they won't understand potentially of like what's happening. I don't know. It's like I was saying, it's a fine line that you have to kind of put so that it's both fun but also like not just garbage for the child. And I haven't read the adventure yet, so I don't know. I'm not calling the adventure garbage. I'm just saying in general for D&D.
So I just want to say,
Okay.
That honestly, so far, kind of like respect nerds for doing their whole like D&D thing,
Mhm.
because like, while yes, the narrative exists of haha nerds D&D haha,
Sure.
yeah, but I kind of respect the fact that on page 1 of their document
Mhm.
they have the word beholder, and also on page 1 of their document an entire section on TPKs.
Mhm. Yeah. No, it's true. Sorry, Emo the Beholder?
Yeah, I noticed. It's a candy company. I don't expect good writing.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? I feel like I don't know the quality of it yet. That's just a name, right? A name is whatever.
Mm.
We can forego a name, right?
Mm.
Whatever the quality of writing is, I hope that it's something that is like actually okay. Um I don't need it to be fantastic, right? I need it to be okay.
I guarantee you there's at least one person who works at Nerds company. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
he knows Mr. Nerds
Yeah,
himself.
Mr. Nerds.
Um
You mean Mr. Willy
yeah,
Wonka?
yes, maybe he knows Willy Wonka. Hell,
Mhm.
who am I kidding? Willy Wonka probably plays D&D.
Right, that's true. He does.
And may even actually is definitely a DM.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
true. That's true.
he should be able to write like modules just fine.
Yeah. Anyway, so we have those explanations, and now we have the outline. So, uh, we have, of course, all the nerds are only known by their colors. Interesting. Pink the Rogue receives a mysterious message to meet a Mr. Honeycutt in the Central Marketplace. The guy who can Hand of God revive you.
Mm.
After... Sorry, I don't mean... Anyway. After hanging out at the marketplace, Pink meets Mr. Honeycutt, who asks them to find and recover the coral gem in the abandoned mine under Candy Mountain. Mr. Honeycutt gives Pink 2 ways to get there. As the DM, you may find you like a particular path, so you can choose to have Mr. Honeycutt give Pink only one option. Path 1 is a long tunnel that has a nasty monster, Slurmy, who tries to eat Pink. Path 2 is an infiltration over the wall past guards and into the mine. Pink eventually gets into the abandoned mine, avoids the traps, opens the treasure box, gets past the kobolds, and recovers the gem. So simple enough.
Okay.
So, and this is starring the rogue.
I see this being passable enough for Bobby's first introduction to
Right.
D&D.
I think this is an interesting thing because this is meant, or at least my reading of it sees it as being meant for an adult and their child. Yes. And such leads me to believe that the adult knows a bit about D&D. Otherwise, why would they have even known about this promotion?
Yeah, and not only that, but like there's nothing resembling like even a DMG, not that DMGs are frankly necessary,
Yeah.
but
it does
like,
have a
there's
link to
nothing
the...
about like,
Sorry.
hey, consider discussing this in your session, consider avoiding that. It's just literally, here is the module.
Well, so I will argue that the TPK thing was a little bit of that, and the solo play thing was a little bit of that. But it also does have a link that you can go and download the very basic rules set PDF off of Wizard's site. That's part of it. So there is that there, and it does tell you about that in the beginning. What I kind of see this though as is, I didn't know about this, and I know about D&D. I only knew about it because of Boo, right? Like, Boo introduced this to me, because I had no idea that this existed. But somebody who does kind of keep their nose to the ground and actually, like, know and follows D&D and, like, actually wants to get their kids into D&D, I don't know if they need the, hey, you might like a particular path, so just give them only one option. That seems like it's meant for the child. Maybe afterwards, when they've, like, understood a little bit more, and maybe they want to run this through with their, like, little brother or their friend down the street, maybe? I don't know. It's just, I think it's a little strange just to have some things that look like they are super appealing to the kid instead of the parent who is reading the module for the kid, at least in my head, right?
Not only that, but I'm looking through. Okay, so there is proficiencies in language. Yeah, class features. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, there like the whole, it has enough here.
Yeah. So far though, the only quote unquote creature I've looked at has been the guard.
Yeah.
Which it's CR 1/8.
Yeah.
And that is easily a CR 1/2.
Yeah.
If not CR. No, not CR 1.
We can skip ahead to that because at the very end page, pages. Let's see. This is page 9. That's the monster and NPC statistics. So it will have the kobolds and it will have the guard. Mr. Honeycutt himself is also there.
Yes, you can Hand of God. Oh, Slurmy's here.
Yes, Slurmy is there.
What do we got? Disengage in. Oh, so it's a rogue.
Slurmy is a rogue against your rogue. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Wow, Mr. Honeycutt is what? Mr. Honeycutt is level. What is he? He's a challenge 2? Yeah. He's oh, he can just become a rat. Oh, he's a were-rat.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Interesting. He's
how oddly specific, but okay.
I guess were-rat for the rogue to deal with?
But you don't fight Mr. Honeycutt, do you?
No. Well, you know what? Let's find.
I mean, you can if this is a good module, but
I would assume.
Let's go into this various parts of this.
Okay.
Path to whatever.
Yeah, we can start up at the Candy Mountain Caper, like, beginning shit. Eh? So, okay. Hand the character sheet, see the pink rogue. Yeah. Okay, so adventure begins in the colorful place of Harmony because nerds, right? Being nerds, the populace of Harmony has an optimistic outlook and tries to carry on the best they can without being too worried. But the lack of colors is concerning to even the most ebullient. I've never seen that word.
I've not seen that word either.
I've never seen that word.
I would guess you have pronounced it correctly. I will look it up.
Okay. Ebullient. What fresh hell have I joined into? Hey, Vortexus. It's Halloween times. We're talking about candy. Welcome to season 4. When your player... Oh, sorry.
Ebullient or ebullient.
Ebullient. Okay. Although... Okay, with a U
cheerful and full of energy, but it also has an archaic meaning, which is about a liquid boiling or agitated as if boiling.
Interesting. Well, vocabulary. Good. This will be on the test.
I would guess that it's related to the word bouillon
Yeah, probably. Yeah, actually.
because given that's about boiling,
Ebullient. Gotcha. Ebullient. Okay.
it has my seal of approval.
I like the word. I mean, it's not a bad word. It's just like I've never seen it before, ever. Anyway, Harmony Lively Metropolitan Center, foods and wares from the realm around the realms. Is this are nerds now canonically in D&D?
Oh god, they're gonna be a playable race, aren't they?
I'm just sorry, my brain just
Yeah,
immediately go, huh?
the Among Us imposters already a playable race.
Well, that's a homebrew thing, definitely.
No, it's not.
What?
It's not plasmoid.
Oh, really?
They literally have an ability that allows them to fit into small spaces, aka vent.
Yeah. When? What? Okay. All
It's
right.
in the newest book,
Are you kidding me? What?
dude. God
No.
help me, I wish I was.
Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. Sorry, this takes precedent. Plasmoid. You can be a slime in the new Unearthed Arcana. Plasmoid.
Maybe it's still UA.
It looks like it's UA. It was a Spelljammer thing.
Medium or small, amorphous. You can squeeze through a space as narrow as 1 inch wide, provided you are wearing and carrying nothing. You also have advantage on ability checks you make to initiate or escape a grapple.
Okay.
You have dark vision.
Yeah.
So when you cut the
When you
lights
cut
and
the power.
electric,
Yeah.
although really everything has dark vision.
Yeah.
Oh,
Most
you can
everything.
hold breath. So when the
Oh.
oxygen filtration system goes
Right.
down,
Reddit was filled with either Slime Girl memes or Among Us when it came out. Okay.
I saw a lot of Among Us. I
I
saw no slime girl.
I missed this entirely because I stopped paying attention. Okay, well, thank you for bringing this to my attention. It's not a one-to-one, but all right. Anyway,
It's a thanks I hate it sort of
a
scenario.
little bit, yeah. Okay. Lively entertainment, blah 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 blah. Okay, I want to see. So, yeah, this has a note for Pink. Okay. I know you are a nerd with a particular set of skills. Thank you.
Wow. I'm starting to feel incredibly added.
Also, lots of memes about horny slime bard slimes. Yeah, that makes sense. I know
Oh.
yeah. Please meet me in the central marketplace this morning. I'll be wearing a suit and horn-rimmed spectacles. Okay. And this is a human dude who's around with these nerds, by the way.
Oh.
Interesting. Allow a moment for your player to roleplay in the central marketplace, exploring the market and interacting with the vendors. Only a moment, though. I swear to God, if you ever give them more than that, you're kicked. Florists bemoan the faded color in their flowers. Other merchants say color is a natural resource that's now running out. Ooh, I like that, actually. If desaturation is happening to your whole world, color becoming a resource, yo. Some even wonder if Harmony has been cursed. Here's some other fun activities for Pink. Ooh. Young nerd looks up to Pink, wants to be a great rogue someday. Everybody knows that Pink's a rogue. Okay. Pink can teach them how to do sleight of hand, pick a lock, put on a disguise to trick a vendor they know, or some other rogue skill like how to do a flip or walk a tightrope. Okay. DC 10s. And if successfully, amaze the young nerd, increasing their admiration. Very good.
Again, the fact that it's meant for children, shining through a DC 10 dex for everything.
Yeah. Okay, wait. So here's some were-rats in the Lore Keeper Society. Now this I'm interested in. Were-rats and other good lycanthropes have long been members of the Lore Keeper Society. Being able to turn into an innocuous animal has allowed the Lore Keeper Society to remain secret for many centuries, except for now when they're revealing themselves. No. Mr. Honeycutt is the current Magister of the Lore Keeper Society. The Magister. And being a were-rat lets him keep a secretive eye on all matters, big and small, within harmony. Okay. So, in this lore, we have good were-rats, and that's cool, I guess. Forgive the scrutiny. I mean, be sure you're not a doppelganger. Why, already in doppelgangers, huh? Then the child goes, "What's a doppelganger?" And you go, it's a thing that looks like other people. Nice.
Yeah, where do we get to the Aboleth?
Yeah, I want to be level 1 and fight the Aboleth.
Dude, if I'm not fighting either an Aboleth or a Sibriax, stop wasting my time.
I understand. Absolutely. Okay, so immediately, my name is Mr. Honeycutt, and I belong to the Lore Keeper Society. You haven't heard of us, but we've been watching you, and right now we need your help. Always good. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not great. It's nowhere near great, but it's functional.
Yeah, it's just there's something that pisses me off about walking up to a stranger and saying, "Hello, I am a member of a secret
society." Yes, that's why I said before. Until now, they've been secret. Like, I know maybe swear him to secrecy and stuff. You can take that kind of liberty there, but at the same time,
dude. The Masons aren't a secret society because they have their members sign an NDA.
Yeah, exactly. Needs the coral gem. The society hid the gem for safekeeping. It was once a mine. They need it back because it's been abandoned. Hidden behind a fake wall. You can go to the mountains. Okay. Basic Candy Mountain, there's an entrance to the old abandoned mine. Okay.
I'm still not sure how I feel about Mr. Honeycutt's Gem of Seeing.
Hey man, he's got to make sure you're not a doppelganger. Don't make it weird. Mr. Honeycutt assumes Pink will do the job out of civic duty. But if Pink asks for monetary compensation like a good rogue, Mr. Honeycutt hands Pink a pouch containing 20 gold.
And like a good rogue, they look at the pouch in their hand and look back at Mr. Honeycutt. Like, come on, where's the rest?
Unless Pink has other...
Also, I really like Mr. Honeycutt says the entire complex is surrounded by a slippery stone wall and guarded by eerie, faceless guards.
That is good.
Unexpectedly, not quite creepy, but definitely creepy for nerds.
Oh, yeah. Oh, totally. For a child, having somebody... honestly, in general, things without faces, that's a horrifying thing, and if you can get the child to understand that, they're fucked.
I love things without faces.
Oh man, they're so scary. Hey, Boo! How's it going?
Speaking of things without faces.
Hey!
Yeah. Additional nerds acquired.
Awesome. Okay.
I have all of them.
All right. Good.
It was really weird.
I
was like, standing at the self-checkout aisle, it's like, scan the nerds, get the thing. And buy them. Do it one. I had to do 6 boxes of nerds one at a time because I needed the different receipts for each individual purchase.
I know. That's so weird.
They're like, "Why are you buying so many nerds?" Like, I have to get individual proof of purchase. It's bullshit.
It's a thing for the internet.
Expense, I swear.
It's a business expense, exactly.
Yeah, right.
All right, man. Cool. Well, future stuff acquired. Good.
Yeah.
We'll have to look through the ones, the later ones. I mean, the last one is definitely one that I want to look through actually, but we'll have to vet the other ones to see if there's anything really notable that's different, right? We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Well, I know that you're playing as nerds, which is great.
It's yeah. I mean, it's a kids thing, right? Like it's.
I know. It's just funny.
Oh yeah, sure.
Playing D&D and you're a fucking nerd,
right? Well, I asked before, are nerds now canon in D&D? Like, is that no thing?
Oh my god, I wish. Dude, I would go fucking. It's like, hey, we need food, but there's these weird fucking lumpy sweet things. Go kill them. And it turns out it's just nerds.
Eat them.
That'd be amazing.
That would be pretty good.
Will you commit a war crime for food?
Yes.
I like that.
And then, dude, imagine how many fucking parties would adopt a nerd.
Oh, you are absolutely correct. You are
like, dude,
fucking correct.
I want to be a druid of the sugar circle.
Oh, no.
And just have like a nerd army.
Oh no.
Defeat my enemies by diabetes.
Well, we're on page 4, going to page 5. We're just kind of yeah, no, you can. We're just kind of like going through it slowly and kind of seeing how it's written and shit.
Yeah.
So okay, so this is the thing. What I will say before we actually get to that section is that I like the idea of having it be paths that, well, one path that seems to cater specifically towards like skills of a rogue, where it's like it says at least that it is the path of infiltration over the wall, past the guards, and into the mine. With path 2, where path 1 is a straight combat.
Yeah.
Which is interesting for a single rogue. Especially when we looked at Slurmy, and he is also a rogue.
He's a rogue.
So,
oh my god.
He can disengage.
Yeah. Actually, he's a better rogue.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it's so technically it's a goblin, okay.
Yeah.
So the feeling I got is that the way you have to defeat it is by outsmarting him and not just relying on brute force of dice rolls.
Yeah.
Which sounds interesting. Sounds interesting to like you and to me.
Right.
But to a 7-year-old child who might not think to outsmart the monster and might rely on dice rolls.
I was gonna say.
See the TPK section on page 1.
I don't know. Actually, I think you're wrong. The Slurmy is not a better rogue than.
So the disengage.
How do the healths and ACs compare?
I don't actually. Yeah, we can.
Okay.
AC
I was gonna say at least in terms
hit points 9 for pink.
Yeah, at least in terms of raw stats, you would be having more reliable damage since you've got your dex and it's 5e.
Oh
so
yeah,
finesse.
yeah.
ACs are the same in hit points for Slurmy are for higher than for pink, but pink does have a healing potion.
That is also true. Yeah, I mean, like it is definitely possible and easy, I would say, for the player to come out on top. But what it's definitely like you gave your child a sword and your child wants to swing the sword at the thing. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's fair enough. Do it.
You're pointing to a bunch of people and say, "Go, child, bathe in their blood."
So
yes.
So this is an interesting part here that I see. Friend or foe in this on page 5 at the top of the top right of page 5. We have friend or foe, which says, as with anything in Harmony, the chance for friendship is possible. If Slurmy is treated with exceptional kindness, offered food, and won over with a successful DC 14 Charisma Persuasion check, then a truce is possible and maybe even friendship. You can make this friendship automatic without the need for a roll if you wish. So there is that option, which is good to have. But again, conveying this to your child is going to be difficult. I'm not saying it's not possible and not saying you shouldn't try. What I'm saying is giving your child a sword and telling them they can be friends with things that try to kill them or are mean is going to be an interesting conversation, I think.
Well,
I find it less
I think
problematic.
I don't think it's
I think
problematic. I don't think it's problematic. I think it's an interesting thing to do, to have your child go, oh, this thing is mean to me. There is an option for being friends with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I like that, and I like it being there. I think it's going to be difficult to have the child get to that point.
I think yes, but
Okay.
I think you're banking too hard on whether or not it's a 7-year-old. What if there's like if the person's like 30 years old and they're playing
So
this?
if the person's 30 years old, they're not being treated like a child.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying is this is not for them.
Or they are being treated like a child, and it's just incredibly demeaning.
Right. Exactly. Like if you read through this is written as the or for what seems to be the adult, but a lot of the times there are some things in here that more feel like they're talking to a child, right? It is not. I don't think that this is for that 30-year-old guy to run for his 30-year-old guy friend, right? Or female or whatever you want, you know.
Dude, okay.
I just want to see like Critical Role run this.
That would be they
That'd
did
be
the
hilarious.
Wendy's thing, so honestly.
Okay, never mind.
So I'm looking at the thing below Sneaky Slurmy, right? The pink. God in heaven, why do nerds have a pouch in their body? Like
I'm pretty sure that's like an error.
Yeah, that looks like an error.
A marsupial. Okay.
Yeah,
that's an error.
That looks like an error.
Because I would be judging it so hard for storing like the edged blade in its body and walking with the key when you could just walk with the sword.
Oh, actually, you know what? If you go down to the actual character sheet for pink, you can see the real image where the sword is not that low down. It's actually up higher and hidden beneath the cape.
I assume it
dagger,
would be a dagger.
Sword.
I don't know. It's a rogue, right? Like
okay.
Yeah. So that is an error of some kind.
Adopt a nerd, the colorful candy, or some guy in a Diet Orc t-shirt with a binder full of character sheets. One option, by the way, for a younger kid or when they seem like they might get frustrated, you can offer multiple choice options that might help them make choices beyond straight combat. Absolutely. So like it's easy to put these things in front of the child, but having it, I don't know. Again, what I said before of like making it not something that is like condescending. Right, like you don't want to just spoon feed the child things. I know they're a child,
unless it's nerds.
I know
because they're kind of hard to hold.
That's true. I know, I know they're a child.
Yeah, that's because they took the escape action.
Yeah, I always drop them all over my floor.
There you go.
Some of them, anyway, not all of them.
But I think it's again a weird and hard balance to make between like having these things for your child to go through and understand, as well as like giving them these options here without going, you can totally make you should try to be friends with this guy, you know, like actually telling them what to do.
Yeah.
So you can also do what I have done for my players, which
your
is
children.
Sometimes it feels like it.
I understand.
Because legit, I'm actually I'm looking at this one shot and going, you know, I could totally run this for my ex.
Oh, I see. Okay, go on.
It helps that my ex is a rogue.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that stands fair.
But what I will typically do is when the party wants to interact with the character that I have not quite hostile, but you would maybe upon initially when you interact with them think you may be better off for killing them.
Sure.
But for whatever story reasons that may not serve you best. it's best to be friends with them is just kind of like backhandedly like very intentionally inadvertently like try to like shepherd them and guide their decision making process. Like
Right.
they're 100% free to kill the old man by the campfire they just found
Right.
if they want, like, but they might not hear like, you know, oh, I was here at this point. They might not get a critical lead on
No, of course.
someone else's backstory stuff. And wherein that became most useful was when there were two owl bear cubs. After the party had killed the cub's mother. Where one was I had designed it so they would like take one and maybe raise it as their own pet, maybe give it up for adoption to a certain NPC or something. And as it happened, the dice rolled it. One cub was very hostile, and one was like kind of just like, yeah, this is a thing, I guess.
Sure.
But I was like, the party was like hemming and hawing amongst themselves, like, what do we do? And I'm like, the bear looks from its dead mother to you.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, this thing is going to die out in nature if I don't fix and like try to fix what I have done.
Right. Of course.
And be like, well, if you want, dude, you can just lift the bear up by the scruff of its neck and draw a dagger across its throat. Like, who cares?
Sure.
It's a dumb animal.
Sure.
You're a monster for doing so, but it's a dumb animal.
Well, so I understand like doing that kind of thing, but in the actual child aspect, you lack the nuance that you can have with a person who is more,
yes.
Developed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like that's all I'm saying. It's a lot. You have to dumb things down, but you don't want them to be too dumb, right?
Dude,
Yes.
Literally last session I played there's a rune knight who can make himself like really big, and who literally like I'm like a bullywug had like 2 hit points left, and he happened to finish it off. I'm like, describe your kill. And he said he basically like kicked it into a tree and it hit so hard it died. And I'm like, yeah, as Vincent finishes off war criming a bullywug.
Is that a war crime? To kick someone into a tree?
It is not specifically a war crime yet.
The Geneva still is meeting on those.
The Geneva suggestions.
Yeah, the Geneva suggestions are not clear.
Yes. People call them war crimes, but to Eric, they're more war suggestions.
Exactly. Slice says
More slaps on the wrists.
Yeah, that's. I'm sad they took down the Wendy's one shot. Yeah, they did do that, didn't they? Wasn't there like a controversy or something? I don't remember. But anyway,
why? What the fuck? What controversy would there be with them fucking playing a Wendy's?
Not like controversy in the traditional. It's more just like, oh, you did a sponsored thing for Wendy's or something. I don't know.
The controversies you play Eric Cochra.
So yeah, well, this is the other thing. It really sets you up for the player to also be like, hey, Slurmy's not great, because you see his quote is, from up ahead, or is it coming from behind you? You hear a rasping voice that says, ooh, it smells like fresh meat has come down into the darky dark just for Slurmy to feast on.
Yeah.
What's the intention there? Yeah, discuss.
Yeah. Well, probably to eat you.
Oh. No, I think it's to try to talk to him.
No, I think it's that you brought Slurmy fresh meat because you're not fresh meat because you're a nerd.
Right, of course.
Yeah, you aren't
Except,
meat.
Pretty sure you don't have any meat on you unless you took it specifically for him.
Although, let's be honest, and by the way, what the fuck? That was the strongest goddamn deja vu about nerds D&D? Like, it's on the one hand, you don't have any meat because you're a nerd, but because you're a nerd, you're sugar, and therefore more calories.
That is true. You are right. So what I would say honestly is that I don't think Honeycut, your quest giver, ever says that. At least it doesn't suggest that you have him say, "Oh, you could try to go that way. There's a thing there, but maybe you could, get
maybe
by
you could
it."
be friends with it.
Right?
Give it here. Take this meat, and it might,
Yes, exactly. Right. Give that option there for. I mean, if this is for the parent to run, they probably have thought of this, right? But if with the writing of it. It feels like it's written for a child a lot of the time. So if you want this to also be something that you give to your child, also include that option, not just as a footnote during the encounter of, hey, it's possible to give him some food and be your friend. Give beforehand, give that as an option for Mr. Honeycutt to say, hey, if you go down there, maybe take some meat with you. You never know, you might be able to have an animal chase it or something, right? Just have it be a suggestion, not necessarily immediately about the slurmy. It's just fucking. Anyway, don't have it be
wazzle.
Right. Don't have it be directly about slurmy. And him saying, "Oh, there's a guy named Slurmy down there. You could give him some meat." No, have it be something that is related to an animalistic thing of there could be a wolf down there and you could throw the meat at it, right? And then they might be expecting a wolf, but then they find Slurmy and then they go and see Slurmy is emaciated and fucking gross and they go, maybe that guy needs some food.
Yeah.
It's a problem solving thing for a kid, I think.
Here's the thing though.
Yeah.
If you introduce an option as you can go through the tunnels, but be careful, there's a scary monster in the tunnels, no 7-year-old is going to choose to go down the tunnels with the monster.
I disagree.
Wow.
I disagree heavily. You gave that kid a sword. That kid has the imagination and the adventure and the wanderlust to go into that cave because he can go in there with his sword and be okay.
I can see that. However, I still disagree with it because the children, at least I know, speaking from personal experience,
right,
are what to mention my good friend. Actually, no, not my good friend. I won't even do that for the bit.
Okay.
H.P. Lovecraft.
Sure.
The greatest fear is the fear of the unknown.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Sure.
That's not the full quote.
yeah, I know it's not, and you're not getting it.
But okay.
So if the child hears that there is a very vague, there's a monster down there.
Not saying there's a monster.
Whatever. If you warn them of danger in the tunnels, maybe. Well, even warning them of danger in the tunnels might be putting it a bit softer. Maybe this is just because I would try to scare a child.
Okay. So that's the other thing, though. It does say, when your player is really freaked out, read this about Slurmy saying, ooh, tasty meats, right?
Yeah.
So now I think, right, you're not we aren't giving them this is that scary except for the eerie faceless guards beforehand. I'm just trying to give an option of, hey, more than one way to get through this instead of fighting everything you see, right? That's the general gist that I want to get across, and saying you could throw meat for animals so that they can eat that and you can go buy them so that they don't bother you is so simple that can apply to the animals if there were any. Hell, you could substitute Slurmy for an animal and just have that be the encounter, or it can work for Slurmy so that the child might go, oh, there's a thing down here. It's kind of ravenous. It seems to want to eat me, and it's also mentioned that I might be meat for it. Maybe. Oh, wait, no, I have meat. You know, if they choose that option.
Yeah.
Right? I think presenting this option to then have it be a connection that the child might be able to deduce, you know, is something that would be good for them for a learning experience as well. And like actually get them to develop a bit with problem solving in this D&D game, which is basically a big problem solving kind of game, right?
Yes.
It really kind of helps with that, like, you know, introduction of it.
So it's so this one is not what you would call beer and pretzels, or this is not beer and pretzels. In this case, it would be Oreos and milk.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
This is root beer and pretzels.
Yes.
There we go.
Mog says
Oh, go on.
Okay, I was going to say, Mog says, but I think children are more prone to charge in and beat the monsters up. Even new adult players feel like they can Skyrim everything and beat it up. But yeah, new adult players feel like they can Skyrim everything. And that's not something...
Adult players, I can see them doing it more than kids.
I don't understand how that's your mindset for that. Because again, I most of the kids that I have encountered and like had to I know it's a weird
really
way to say
funny.
it. Right.
Most of the children that I have encountered
I have random encounters and I beat the children at hockey or something. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, so
WWE.
Yes, exactly. But most of the kids that I've encountered are super energetic. Absolutely, and like the ones that were in the D&D group that I know of were also super into going for and getting things. Like if the option really wasn't presented that they could do something other than go charge the thing, like all I would hear about from my friend who ran that group was like how he tried to make it so that he wanted to make it so that they could do more than just fight something. But they were kids, so it was hard for him to kind of get them to understand.
Simplistic way of solving the problem.
Exactly, and I think simplicity being...
I'm totally willing to acknowledge the fact that this is based off of my perceptions of kids that I've had dealings with, and I have never run a D&D session for kids under the age of me.
That's fair. That's fair as well. Yeah.
So, like, it's possible they may just be very gung-ho murder hobo-y.
I will attest.
I hope not.
Yes, I will attest from experience that I have heard about. Yes, they are.
And also, I love the way you guys are phrasing all this shit, where it's like, the children that I have had dealings with. And I just imagine Aiden sitting behind the counter of his fucking foaming flagon, wiping out a goddamn beer mug, and the kid reaches up over the counter and like slides a gold piece. And then you hand him like a fucking apple, and then he walks out. Yeah. I don't know why that comes to my mind, but it does.
Dude, fuck yeah, I just swindled the fuck out of that kid.
Hell
yeah. You didn't even ask for it. He just handed it to you. He just thought it was. You just didn't correct him, which is fair.
I gave him an apple, thus turning it into a purchase.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thus making it legal to steal this child's money.
Anyway, so moving on from this thing, we have the other path.
Sorry, this was what I was going to mention before Mog got brought into it.
Yeah.
I just realized what's been bothering me about the forgive the scrutiny, but I needed to make sure you weren't a doppelganger thing.
Okay.
And that it's like a non sequitur, like red herring.
Oh, true.
Just like, I'm going to mention, like, touch upon the existence of doppelgangers, but there is nothing within the rest of this module, to my knowledge, about doppelgangers. So what happens instead is you're going to have the proverbial 7-year-old child who is like, what is a doppelganger?
Yeah, exactly. Well, so the only connection to that I can see is that what's his face? I've already forgotten his fucking name.
Honeycut.
Honeycut, thank you. Honeycut is.
Well, you don't know you don't know all the details of this campaign yet.
Oh God, I don't want this.
You can call him either God Hand or Hand of God.
It is true. You can call him the God Hand.
Just keep Mr. Honeycut away from Cass.
Yes.
But
this is some dumb shit we're into right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to Table Talk.
This is season 4, everyone.
Yeah.
Welcome to Table Talk, where the humors of like Berserk and D&D nerds intertwine.
Oh, did someone say nerds? I have all the boxes right here, and I just got done sending all the pictures. Or uploading all the pictures onto my computer so that I can fucking start getting the rest of this campaign. Yeah. I expect to be reimbursed.
Yes, you will. Don't worry. It is a business
reimburse my shame.
My shame. You're the only one who could actually find them.
I know.
For us to do that, we'd have to first assign a monetary value to it.
Your shame. Yeah.
True.
See you, Steely.
Bitch, I have receipts. I can just tell you.
That's true. So the only connection, right, before what I get off topic of that, but the only connection that I can see is the fact that Honeycut is also a were-rat. And so there's that slight, it's he's a master, he's the master of the lore keeper things. Like I don't know, man. It's weird. Okay. But that's the only connection that I see, and it's not a great connection, right? Because again, the doppelganger thing, it's like it literally leads nowhere except for he knows about the transforming things, but also the child doesn't know that.
Yeah.
The character just became aware of this stuff, or maybe they were always aware. It really, like, if this is a kid, they will never understand. They don't know what this thing is usually. If it's a adult that you're doing this for, first off, second off,
for fun. That's why you shitter.
That's no, I know. Just you know. Second off,
because she's my ex. That's why.
Second off, I'm trying to keep it together. Fuck
no.
So second off,
I hope no one in the Discord server I posted this stream to is in here right now.
Thank you, Steely, for the donation, the $3 donation saying "Nerds for Nerds." Thank you. But anyway, if it's the adult, and they're playing a rogue, perhaps they could make like a history check or something on like what a doppelganger is, but they are a brand new character, right?
Well, the thing is, you know, doppelgangers, you can make a history check about anything because it's history.
Well, no,
you know?
So I would not allow a history check for just anything. That's the thing. It really would depend on either if it's general history, something that's relevant to their background, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, it has to be more specific, I would say.
Yeah, I guess what I meant, because what I was thinking of, hang on, I'm pouring out nerds.
I understand. I can hear them a little bit.
Yeah, okay. I'm getting something out of this shit.
Sure.
But what I was going to say is, it's the kind of the argument where it's like, why was my character, you know, how am I trying to word this? Mm-hmm. It's the argument of, I know what a troll is, but my character has never seen a troll. So how long do we have to pretend that I don't know what a troll is and that I can use fire, even though it's going to happen regardless.
Until your character
instead of
learns it.
well, here's the thing. Hang on. Because you can say that your character, it's like, I've heard stories about trolls. People have told stories like, oh, don't go in the swamp. Those trolls will get you. Be sure you use fire. You know, it's that kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah. And
so I think you can kind of sort of get away with some history checks by asking, have I ever heard like stories or folk tales about whatever it is I just heard of?
You've just played into what I said. It has to be more specific.
Okay.
Right? That's fine.
Okay.
I would argue, instead of using a history check, just the way that we do things at our tables, is just a general intelligence check.
Also,
would I be familiar with this? Yeah, make an intelligence check.
Well, so usually, like, history is intelligence in 5e anyway, so, like, I find it being suitable, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's intelligence, but you don't get a proficiency modifier.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Is there any way that I could make a character who doesn't use intelligence at all for anything? And even when I use intelligence for stuff, I don't use it. So that way I can use like charisma for my intelligence checks, because fuck intelligence, apparently. Because it's not good for anything.
Right, apparently.
You just get rid of the stat.
you can, in fact, but then you have Gregor Wolf's bite.
Damn it.
There's a couple of things that we missed that I want to say. Read out. Steely said another idea might be to have a wanted poster for Slurmy saying there's a reward for catching him alive. Yes, that would be a very good way to make that kind of choice. But though that then kind of really pushes them towards that is what you want them to do, which is fine, you know, if that's what you want to do. The child slides a gold piece, 1 beer, please. Yes. DM slides a cream root beer. There you go, kid. 1 beer tastes like crap. God Hand PS2 game was ridiculous. Yes, it is. I would play a Nerds cross Berserk cross D&D game. Sign me up. Yes. Maybe we need to define.
Honestly, being Nerds might give Berserk the levity it needs.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. Maybe we need to define what a child is, or kid is, age-wise at least, because I think most kids have seen Harry Potter or the sorts, so they have an understanding of getting ripped apart.
It's true.
I mean, so this is the thing. Obviously, you know your child, hopefully? Or you are at least aware of this. I
never met the guy.
Right, unless... or you're at least somewhat aware of this younger person and, like, what they've consumed for media and such, so you can obviously tailor it however you need to for their experience. If they're fine with being maimed... or not, you know.
This is honestly, I'm so glad I thought to do this.
Because
I was the one that saw it. I'm like, dude,
I know, and I'm glad you did.
It's gonna be great.
Well, because like, I had no fucking idea. And second off, like, I feel like it's something that is super, like, it's not super important, but I'm going to give it the same respect that I do of any other material that we cover, you know?
Yeah. It's like people who review it's basically like people who review old movies.
Yeah. And
hold them to the standards of fucking, like, the highest tier. You know, that's great.
Well,
it's fun.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh man, this is a campaign for like a 7-year-old, but we need to make sure that they can, it needs to be exact, you know. It's just funny.
My kids that I might DM for are going to play a game that is like the movie Lost Boys. They're going to learn it eventually, right? So yeah, I mean,
honestly, if you want to play an RPG that's good for kids, play Kids on Bikes.
Yes, yeah.
If you want to play an RPG that's good for kids, I recommend basing an RPG off the Lord of the Flies.
Yes.
Hell.
Hypothetically, yeah. Well, so it's again, it's like I would say whatever they've consumed, like, as long as you know, like, generally what they've seen. Not
And if your kids have consumed Berserk.
You're in a bad way. I don't know where that happened, but man, those kids are fucked forever. But yeah, I think that it's just, it depends on the kid, I guess. It depends on your table.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, moving on to path 2, the Candy Mountain Mine, where they can sneak, I guess. Yeah, so we have many ways to get through. You can disguise yourself with a deception check. You can stealth through with a DC 12. You've got a wagon you can sneak into. You can purposely get caught and taken inside, right? These are all suggestions for it. Obviously, your child might run at them or something. I don't know. Well, this is the thing.
It just sounds funny.
Well, this is the thing about it. Like, you have all these options for skills and stuff. And I guess maybe the explanation beforehand, your session 0 for your child, if you will be full of you explaining, like, how rogues work, what they can do, and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully at this point, if they do choose this path and they think, oh, I'm going to be like a spy or something, right? Then they can kind of roleplay that out. Or they're like, oh, I'm a spy and I can kill everyone.
Now, I think an easier way to do that would be to equate it to something. So
Yes.
The one that I jumped to immediately, even though it's not the best movie, would be you're going to be playing a rogue. So if you don't know what a rogue is, think about Bilbo from The Hobbit.
Okay.
You know, because he had his, like, he snuck in and he tried to avoid detection and he snuck around to the back, but he supported people and stuff like that. It's, because I was thinking Lord of the Rings, but I'm like, Lord of the Rings didn't really have a rogue. Not really.
Not really.
Because, hell, fucking Pippin was more like the fighter.
Yes.
It's weird.
Mary and Pippin.
We've been approaching this from the perspective of a parent that ostensibly knows D&D.
Right.
DMing this for a child who doesn't know D&D.
Mm-hmm.
But what about if the roles were reversed?
Oh.
And it's a parent who doesn't know a lot about D&D decides to run this for their child who they know isn't D&D because the parent is trying to relate to the child.
So in that case, okay.
Or maybe the child is DMing for the parent.
In that case, then the parent would also. So I don't know, man. I don't know what the marketing was for this promotional stuff. I have no idea. Again, never heard about it. Like I said, if this was nose to the ground kind of person that was into D&D, if the kid somehow came across it, and then they gave it to their parent to like, or they were running it for their parent, I feel like the kid would be more experienced at that point, because they got their parent to buy them NERDS so that they could download the thing.
The boxes actually look pretty neat. They got a mimic on the front of it.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
I'm just imagining the proverbial 7-year-old watching Critical Role or something, and then just like blasting through this campaign. Or, quote-unquote, campaign.
Sure.
This one shot.
Right. I feel like it's a lot harder to imagine that. I'm sure that it's possible, but again, it seems far less likely.
Oh, yeah, most certainly.
Which is why I'm more coming from the perspective that we're coming from.
Yeah, oh no, this is literally just a fun thought.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It's not that fun.
Wow.
Let's see.
So we have traps.
Fitting coming from Boo, I guess, for whom no thought is fun.
Yeah.
We have traps, we have stairways. These are all very standard kind of things for your dungeon. If you need extra healing, they can have rock candy heal them once per day if they eat it. Why would you? Oh well, I guess to prevent them from going back all the time. That makes sense. You've got.
Oh, it's fucking. It's oh, what is it? Deep Rock.
Yes, absolutely.
Nice.
And then with the coral gem, they find that. Sorry. Oh, okay, that's the lock. Gotcha. If you can get the box, you can run with the gem. Oh no, the kobolds try to take the gem. If Pink is ready for them, the kobolds try to intimidate, barter with, or beg Pink to hand it over. Quite clear what will happen if the kobolds if they fail, and it isn't pleasant in the slightest. You can make friends by promising to protect them.
Oh.
Sure. Yeah, because they're pleading with... See, that I find way more likely for the child to go for, because they are actively pleading for them to give them the thing, and they would explain, hey,
yeah,
my guy,
mm-hmm.
my boss doesn't like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing a boss other than Slurmy, I guess?
Mr. Honeycutt.
Well, you're right. You have Mr. Honeycutt at the very end. Honeycutt. You give him the thing, and he's like, "Ha ha! Game was rigged from the start, kid."
Decides to steal back the 20 gold and the gem.
Oh my god!
Right.
And well, you haven't gotten to that page yet. I'm skipping ahead a little bit.
Oh, the dragon fossil.
Yeah, the dragon fossil.
Yeah.
I cannot tolerate spoilers for Nerds D&D, okay?
Yeah, sorry.
No, that was actually the next part. Hey.
Perfect. There's a fucking dragon fossil, which is pretty cool. That's pretty sweet, actually.
They can take
it's a shame they don't have a handout.
Right? They can take 20 minutes to go and get that thing to get a free perfect dragon tooth. It's worth 20 gold.
It would take 6 months' work to free the entire skeleton, which would sell for 1,500 gold to a museum.
That makes sense.
I mean, that would be fucking kind of cool, don't you think?
That would be cool, but
to be it belongs in a museum adventure.
Absolutely. Oh, that's
hilarious.
my character for my Wednesday games now. It's literally that belongs in a museum kind of guy.
Nice.
Yeah. He literally sells his shit to a museum. It's great, and he wants to start his own.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, like that's cool. The dragon fossil is really, again, it's like a footnote, really, because it's just another place to visit in this dungeon. They might skip it entirely, you know, like they might never go there. But it's neat. I mean, sure, get 20 gold after 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you get one magic item in this because 5e is not balanced for it. But magic items are cool, so they're there.
Yeah.
Gloves of Thievery, which is a cool item, to be fair. Invisible gloves that give you +5 to your sleight of hand and dexterity checks to pick locks.
Mm-hmm. Which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, because if you're wearing gloves, it makes it harder to do the... You know?
Shut up. They're specifically designed so they don't, you idiot.
Oh.
It's magic.
Well, then how about a ring of thievery? That way.
Fuck you, man. Gloves are cool. Even when you can't see them.
Yeah. They're fingerless gloves.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's right. That's fine. Yeah, I mean that's about that, you know? Like,
yeah.
We have the map here at the end, kind of. 5e being stingy with magic items. Oh yeah, because they break the game. We have our credits, but I do want to look at the actual, like, nerd here, because
Pink.
Yeah, Pink himself. He is literally level 1, so yeah.
Yeah.
They did the the array, I think, system, right? With scores, it looks like. I think that is array.
I don't know if there's a 13 in array, is there?
Yeah, I think so. Pretty sure.
I don't remember. It's been forever since I've done fucking array.
That's fair. You fucking deck this boy out with stuff. Look at him.
Yeah.
They actually list out all the things for a explorer's kit in the equipment. I can recognize a lot of those. Or is it? Wait, it might just be.
Hey, you got a hand crossbow, a longsword, a rapier. Oh wait, no, it's proficiencies. My bad.
Yeah, you have proficiencies. Yeah. And dark vision 60 feet, so you don't ever have them needing a torch. Even though they have 10 of them.
10 days rations?
Yeah. Well, that's a standard. That's a standard in a explorer kit.
I know, but the campaign shouldn't take...
Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. Other than that, you do get sneak attack and thieves' cant, of course. And you're an urchin because, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. And you are curious. You are absolutely that. And you are
and you're chaotic good.
Yeah.
Because you're a rogue. Of course you are.
But it's also like, the kid is a good person. Make them a good person. I mean, fair enough. It's not like, and again, like I said, I didn't need this to be great. It's okay. It serves its purpose, and it is fine. You know?
And if you come back next week, we'll have part 2.
Right. We'll look at more of them. Absolutely.
It's a new series we're working on.
Yeah. This is season 4 now.
This is season 4. It is true. We have the new logo and everything.
All of season 4 is going to be the nerds.
That is not true.
And then as soon as we're done with the nerds, it's straight on to season 5.
That's not true at all. These are lies?
Yeah, those are lies.
But yeah, so honestly, like, it's fine for a child, you know? Add the nuance that you need to for whatever age you're running it for. You know, I was joking, of course, before of like, why would you run this for an adult? No, it's like whatever you want to do with it, right?
Yeah.
It's more just the thought of like an adult being a nerd, right? Like not in the, you know, the traditional sense, quote unquote.
I happen to know 2 adults that this would work just fine for.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think that it, depending on who you're playing this for, or running it and playing it with and for, you should change some stuff to either to make it goofier if that's what you want to do.
Sure. Yeah.
So like instead of you know, like, I don't know. Because I was thinking, it's like, what else could the dragon fossil be? And I'm like, what if it was a beholder, but the beholder's tentacles were like nerds' ropes?
Oh, that's pretty good.
And like his body is a jawbreaker.
Right? Yeah, it's all Willy Wonka.
It's all
fucking
candy, baby.
Candy products. Yeah.
And then you fucking fight gummy bears.
Yeah, totally.
I would love that.
That'd be so cool, actually.
That would be cool.
Like,
yeah, so like if you're going for goofy, like if you're playing this with adults, fucking amp up the goofy.
Sure.
Because that's why if you're playing it as an adult, that's why you're playing it. You're playing it because it's ridiculous. Yeah. And you're playing as a nerd.
That character sheet is dope. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool, honestly. Like, it's not that bad, the character sheet. Did I hear nerds one shot? Oh, God. No. But
one shot? No, there's 7 parts to this.
There are 7 parts. It's true. Nerd Season Pass is shaping up to be the best season to date.
Hell yeah.
Dude.
Paid for the season pass, huh?
Dude, okay. So what we do is if people pay for the battle pass.
Oh,
that's right.
And then
the battle pass. That makes loads of money.
Yeah.
Then they'll have access to hearing us play all 3 of us and like Brogan DMing,
right?
Or like Brogan's a player and Boo's DMing,
right?
Whoever, like amps this nerd's adventure like the fuck up in terms of difficulty.
Yeah.
And makes it meat grinder.
I was gonna say it's a sugar duster, huh?
Damn it! I was gonna say a sugar mill. Fuck.
And then like we have like tragic backstories.
Yeah,
for the nerds.
That
hell
are,
yeah,
like,
dude.
That are weirdly like almost stand out among the light and happy and ebullient world of nerds.
Of course. Oh.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So
I've gotten part 2 just now.
okay.
I can only submit 1 proof of purchase a day.
Oh
So,
my god, really?
yeah,
That's so dumb.
it's fine. I have all the individual
No, I
proofs of
know.
purchase.
It's just
But
it's
yeah.
just dumb.
Oh, by the
right.
way, I posted in the chat
Oh yeah.
what the box actually looks like, and it's a neat looking box.
Yeah, it does look kind of cool. Hang on. Let me bring that up and also set up.
Dude, I love the mimic.
Yeah.
It looks really good. Hang on. Let me get this on the screen for you guys.
And then I also got the reaction of your child walking in, and then when Slurmy arrives.
I did see that. I did see that.
That was a hard picture to get, by the way. There's only one fucking frame of that in that video.
Oh. Well, here's that picture. That's what your child looks like when they see Slurmy. But yeah, no, that is actually kind of like a cool mimic box. I do like that. Full of nerds.
And I love all the different. I love how the nerds look. You know, you got the bard, you got the wizard, the cleric, the fighter, and then the rogue up there.
They did pretty well with the designs. I'll be honest. It's not like anything like special, but it is kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm surprised that they went with a mimic and a beholder and not, I don't know, a dragon.
Yeah.
But I suppose mimics and beholders are more D&D.
Yeah.
Beholders are pretty
ubiquitous of D&D.
Yes.
Whereas dragons are kind of in everything.
Mug donated $5 and said, "Season pass for the next Bago adventure." There you go. Thank you. Well,
we'll have to come up with like a Snickers adventure.
Oh God.
All right, guys. Mog is
so
DMing. We're all playing.
True.
All right.
That's right. Okay. Well, so that being said, we are at the midpoint. I do want to talk about a few different things. First off, we have some announcements. For the future here. Hey, are you in need of content for the rest of the week? Well, boy, howdy. Boy, howdy. Are we going to bring you some content the rest of the week? The plan right now is that Thursday, instead of playing Devils and Dice, as we are wont to do, this Thursday we're going to be playing a spooky dooky one-shot of my design, where we're playing Delta Green. And these guys, and also Brogan, will
Is Delta Green a game where you play as Delta Green agents and you have to fucking remember that?
Yes, where he just kept telling. Well, so and it's gonna be a little different than Delta Green. It's not gonna be traditional Delta Green. It's gonna be based off of urban legends and all that kind of stuff, ghosts and werewolves
and goblins
goblins aren't really that common.
Alejo, I swear to fucking God if Mothman isn't in this.
Oh my God, okay. Well, I wasn't planning on it, but
Oh, now I am.
Nope. It really depends on what you guys make for characters, honestly, because I'll pick some stuff based on that. But I do have a few things in the chamber ready to go for myself. And
if you don't know what Delta Green is, you can either listen to our episode where we talk about what Delta Green is.
That is true.
Or if you should happen to not want good content, you can just imagine Call of Cthulhu with Fortunate Son playing in the background.
Yes. That's what I imagine with Call of Cthulhu all the time.
But yes, except it's from the monster's perspective.
Yeah, it's the Shoggoths that are listening to Fortunate Son.
That's true. But yeah, so that'll be happening live this Thursday. It will be a thing that you can tune into. I will put the stream up after this is like the what's it called? The announcement thing for it, and up for after this episode is done. And other than that, there will be another stream on Sunday, I think it is. No, yeah, Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. It's Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween stream.
All Hallows Eve.
We're streaming it?
Yeah, that was the plan.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. we're going to be playing Back for Blood.
Huzzah!
With all of us here and also Brogan.
Yes. Who the hell? Brogan?
No Nat Ones.
Oh.
No Nat Ones.
I hate that we have to do that shit.
We don't. We really don't.
I know.
Starting off his No Nat November.
That's true. Yep. He will be doing that the next day, really.
I honestly, I feel for him because of what I did something very similar a long time ago.
That's
I was telling you.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
But so that'll be on Sunday. We'll be doing that, and it will be a good old time just playing some shooting zombie games.
It'll certainly be a time.
Well, okay. So other than that, another big announcement.
Hey, you sandbagged my Pokemon, you fucker.
Yeah, I did. So another big old thing that I want to talk about is, hey, did you know, as I put the little logo on the screen right now, we're sponsored by, not sponsored, but partnered with Humble Bundle.
Soon to be sponsored by.
Well, I wish, but I don't think so. We'll see. But we are partnered with them. So now if you go onto Humble with our link to the website, you can go and buy things off there and also support us. The link will be it is both a command that you can put into the chat, a ! Humble, as well as it is in our Discord, and it will also be found just in the description of the episode as well. So
it is also a command for you as a listener to use it.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I actually was going to buy some cookbooks and Warhammer books from there. Hell yeah!
Nice.
So
I'm literally buying Back for Blood and Traveler's Rest tonight.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
So
wait, Back for Blood is on Humble?
Yeah, it's everything has it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Humble has everything as well. It even has stuff for the Switch and shit.
Nice.
Humble's a great site. Yeah.
Wait, how?
Because they can do digital downloads and shit.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. But yeah,
I'm not used to Nintendo being able to do that.
Right. That's fair. Humble is a great site. If you haven't ever, go there and look at some of the bundles. Right now, the one that we would recommend is the Warhammer Fantasy RPG bundle by Cubicle 7.
Yes.
Yes,
I own... Oh, sorry.
It is $30 for 50 fucking PDFs.
Yeah. I own the 4th edition book. It's really fucking good. It's damn good.
Yeah, this gives you 2nd edition and 4th edition, and a bunch of modules for both. It is fantastic for a bundle, just like the Pathfinder one was before. They do great bundles for tabletop content, so do go look at them, and if you use our link, you will support us as well as the charity of our choice, which is Tabletop Alliance, a charity that uses tabletop board games and D&D and role-playing games in general to help build communities and all that kind of good stuff. You can find their site by searching up Tabletop Alliance and go and look at what they're about. But yeah, so that's a thing. And another announcement, of course, as I have many, is, hey, we have that new design of the logo with us around it.
Oh boy.
That is also now on TeePublic. You want that? It's there for you to get on a shirt. It's there for you to get on a mug. It's there for you to get on a wall art. It's there for you to get on a mask. All those kinds of things, as well as the old logo of just the TableTalk logo that was the original design. But this one, honestly, I like a lot more because it feels a lot more... It takes up the space very well and shit. And this was made by my friend on Twitter at CManiac123.
Nice.
Link will be in the description. Part of the sales of this design, if anyone ever buys it, some of the profits will also go towards them. Because I support your artists, So
Oh, don't worry, I know.
on top of the what I paid for it, I also want some of the profits, a percentage of the profits, to go towards them. So if you do decide to do it, please, by all means, it's not just supporting us; it's also supporting the artist.
Yes.
So thank you. And
You're welcome.
and other than that, and also everything's on sale for the next like 2 and almost 3 days because of the way that this works. Everything's on sale on there for that new design. So now's the perfect time. If you're seeing this on Friday, you're fucked. Oops, you didn't show up. But other than that, of course, I want to thank our lovely patrons for giving us the support. For the Dice Fund that is still going on. All of the proceeds of everything that we make for anything is going to go towards the Dice Fund of making custom dice that go towards our patrons, as well as will be on sale for everybody. Oh, yes, and us as well. Absolutely. We are going to get a set. Like, it's required. But yes, so that is also a big thank you to all of our patrons, starting with Draco Kraken at tier 4. Thank you. Mog Zero, who's been in the chat, thank you as well for that tier 4. Slazer, who is also in the chat, at tier 4. Thank you. Steely, who left a bit ago but was also in the chat. Thank you so much for that tier 4. Drake Cross as well at tier 3. Always holding the line, the stalwart man or person, I don't know. Anyway, Chris at tier 2. Thank you. Frozen Spaghetti at tier 2. And Kill Chrono at tier 2. If you want to support the Patreon and support us and get some dice when they come, $5 and up will get a set of dice for free, and you can go towards the fund. Get them here faster. That's just how that works. So if you want to, again, not an obligation, but it is appreciated if you feel like it. And all donations and stuff will also be going towards that fund. They're all going to the PayPal, so that once we get enough, we'll get them. Yes. Finger gunned to no one. Yeah. Fuck, I'm such a bad influence on myself. Mez has influenced me so much. So, moving on. That is all of the announcements, unless I forgot any. I don't think so.
Hey, random question.
Absolutely a random answer.
Murdered Soul Suspect was a David Cage game, was it not?
It was not.
Oh, thank God. I was about to say, it's like, please no.
I liked it. I know it's not great. I liked it.
Because it is on Humble right now for $2.
Oh, get it. It's not bad. Like, oh, sorry.
For $2.
It is not good, but I like it. Yep.
I think... No.
It's very simple, honestly. You'll complete it in about 4 hours, I think. Honestly,
oh, damn.
It is incredibly easy of a game.
Partnering with TableTalk.
What?
Oh, you used the link. That's crazy. You can even see, yeah.
Do we have our own, like...
Because I'm not a filthy degen.
do we have, like, a code that you enter at checkout?
No, like... it is literally just the link, and you can see...
Damn it!
There's a banner that says, thank you for supporting TableTalk.
We gotta be able to say, use code SHITTER at checkout.
Hey, man.
I know I said that
you want to line up
already.
A sponsor? All right? You want to line up a sponsor? Go right ahead.
No.
There you go.
I'm gonna be I'll do it myself.
That's right. Make your own thing.
It's gonna take me a couple years to do it.
Don't. I'm not putting that on the screen. Anyway, so moving on to the next topic, which is making some custom homebrew shit. You guys want to make some custom homebrew shit?
Sure.
Yes.
As long as I don't have to look at it.
Right.
Because I'm playing Back for Blood.
That's fine. You don't have to look at it. You can give me ideas, and I can write them all down because I have
Cool.
the thing open.
Actually, mind if I go first?
I would love for you to go first.
I am
Absolutely.
an impatient fuck.
Okay.
So I okay.
Hold this up.
I have two ideas. The first of which is just an idea to throw out on the cutting room floor.
Okay.
I have no intention of implementing it anytime soon. It was just as I was driving, because I do a lot of driving now. Like it happened to pop into mind. No, it's not. And gas prices are a bitch.
Dude, I was gonna say,
oh my god! I just totally just on that. I spent $44.46 on filling up my car today.
Jesus.
Yep. Yeah, it's fucked.
I have to fill up my car like 1 week, say on Wednesday, and then the week after that on Monday and Friday, and then the week after that will be on Wednesday, then the week after that on Monday and Friday.
Yeah.
It's kind of not great.
Why do you have to fill up so often?
Because I commute.
Oh, I see. Ouch.
It fucking sucks.
Yeah. Living an hour away from where I go to school and having to be there at school every day for either class or research, and then driving back up so I can go to work is sort of not great.
No.
Anyway, so I was driving today and I happened to think of a way that I can make healing more a bit more like not quite meat grindery, but like a bit more, it has consequences.
Okay.
Has been I was initially thinking of once you heal over like half your health, like if you get like say something does 50 points of damage to you and you have 75 hit points of health, and you prayer of healing a bunch of those hit points back, and you heal over half your max, maybe it gives you a level of exhaustion. And I was like, I kind of like it because on one side it simulates the fact that your body is more or less going into overdrive when you heal, and it's like that natural kind of backlash of being healed. And I realized that the exhaustion rules are kind of suck.
You never see them, honestly.
Yeah.
Unless something actually actively gives you exhaustion, you never see exhaustion.
Which is why I'm working on creatures right now that give exhaustion.
Ooh, cool.
Now, if you're going to be working on creatures that give exhaustion, you need to implement things that can get rid of it other than resting.
Yeah,
I know that sounds weird, but I
haven't designed that yet, but primarily I was thinking of there's like potions that like give you the effects of a long rest.
Well, also lesser restoration gets rid of exhaustion. Like it gives you, it puts it down a level.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
There are things already
because
there.
I remembered if you guys have ever heard of him, I'm sure you have. This is Ibashu. He's fucking great.
Never heard of him
some new upstart kid.
Yeah. He did a video on why Frenzy is ass because
for barbarians, it is
because
it's
it's not good. And the other one, it's not that strong compared to the other barbarian subclass features. And two, it gives you a level of exhaustion at the end of using it, and like it's not good. And I forgot that he mentioned that lesser restoration gets rid of that.
Yeah.
But what level of a spell is lesser restoration? I think gotten it.
2.
Is it?
Oh no, it is 2.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure it's 2.
That's not that high then. I thought it was going to be like a 3 or 4 spell.
Yeah, greater restoration is 5, I think.
Yeah, greater restoration's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like by the time that players would be facing things that gave exhaustion just like on hit, there would be of a sufficiently high enough level that lesser restoration would be no big deal. Which it's sure a good thing that the cleric has lesser restoration because he used it on someone he gave brain damage to.
There you go. Wow, I was right. It is 2 and 5. Wow. I hate my brain.
You nerd.
Yeah. I belong in that module.
Yep.
So,
we all do.
wanted to start getting away from exhaustion.
Yes.
Anyway, and started thinking, what if it consumed short rest hit die? So short rest hit die are typically primarily used to heal anyway.
Yeah.
But if you I would have to look into hit die because I think don't barbarians have a D12 hit die?
Yes. They're the only ones that do.
Yep.
So perhaps if you go over 10 or 12 or something along the lines, I'm leaning toward 10 just because it's a nice round number and soothes
the brain feel good.
Yes. But feasibly it's technically most optimal if it's every 12 points. For every 12 points of healing you receive, you burn 1 short rest hit die. So you can either roll your hit die and heal a random amount, maybe, based on your own body's healing, or if you get healed and you get like magical healing being pumped into you, then for every 12 hit points, you try to remember that you don't, like, you mark off, basically, 1 hit die. So if you're level 3, you can get healed 36 points before all your hit die are gone. Now, granted, you can still get healed more at there's no drawback.
Right.
You can be level 3 and get healed 50 hit points for whatever reason. Maybe you're a tank. But come the next short rest, everyone can heal except you.
Right. Yeah. Then it becomes the only benefit that you get from your short rest is whatever you have that resets at short rests.
Exactly.
Okay.
Plus, it still encourages magical healing because it's for every 10 or 12 hit points. Whereas, like, say, short rest happens, I roll a d10 and I roll a 4. I've now burned that die for 4 points of healing. Whereas if it's magical healing, instead of 4 points healing, I get 10 points healing.
Yeah.
For that one expenditure of the hit die.
Yeah. Okay. I like the idea because it adds that, like, it adds more of a danger, right? Which is something I'm always down for 5e. Absolutely. Yeah. Right.
You don't go adventuring and then you're always one long rest away from being totally okay, totally topped off.
So with this as well, are we like changing, or not changing, but like ignoring long rests as fully healing as well?
Long rests would currently, at least, I haven't thought about it too much. I literally thought about it 10 minutes before I arrived at school today. Long rests would still heal to full, still give spell slots back and whatever, but would only give you half of your short rests die back.
Interesting. Encouraging you to not have to adventure every day, basically.
Yes, encouraging you to take time off.
That is, I like.
Yeah, that's
I like the idea because we don't get enough downtime with how 5e is. I like the idea of kind of.
Shut up. I know.
But I like I like the idea of encouraging that through that kind of a mechanic, because then you can have more role play, dude. You know, like
I'm being called out. Shut up.
No, I'm not. I'm literally not. We role play so fucking much. but yeah, no, it encourages that for that kind of campaign. And like, if you don't want to have that kind of campaign, you don't use it, obviously, right? Like, it really would help with those kinds of things where maybe you're having difficulty getting your players to kind of roleplay more, and thus this kind of thing, like, it might just be something that everybody goes, well, I just want to skip until like 2 days go by.
Yeah,
it's like, well, okay, so we just keep skipping until 2 days go by every time, and now it's like next month. You know,
yeah,
like you guys are just you're not doing anything,
and then you as the DM start throwing in time sensitive quests that needs to be completed right off the bat.
Yes,
and your players look at you because they know what you're doing and you know what you're doing, and they go fuck you, and you go ha ha.
Welcome to life.
Yeah,
bitch.
Right.
Yeah, no, I like that because it kind of adds to that kind of thing of making a bunch of different things kind of work together in that respect of different ways to play the game.
Yeah, because like I've heard of the idea of you only get half your hit dice back on a long rest, and I was trying to think like, okay, so like you expend what is essentially a resource. You expend that resource in order to get a more immediately helpful resource. Like, okay, but how do I make it so that when you get that healing back and you burn that hit dice, that you go like, I'm gonna have to be careful from here on out.
Right. Exactly.
And that was my answer to that. The only thing that makes me still hesitant is the fact that it kind of opens the door for the healer to be an absolute scumfuck.
I mean, yeah, as some things, you know, a lot of things would, but it really depends on the person.
Yeah, and like I don't foresee that being an issue for a lot of parties. Right. Just because like most of the time people would, like, if you said like, yeah, heal back 12 hit points, or heal back 15 of your hit points, but burn one of your hit die. Like most people would be like, all right, yeah, fuck that hit die.
Yeah, that's true.
Were there any final thoughts, or should I move on to the other point?
Well, so I'm trying to think of like how you would word this as like the title of what this like mechanic is, right? And at the moment I'm hearing healing exhaustion in my head, but that seems, I mean, it's just using the same words again, you know?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a good
healing.
I'm trying to think of a good title that is not necessarily catchy, but like explains it a little bit, you know, to the person when they read it. Like they get a sense of it, right? And that's why that would draw them in to like read more.
Yeah.
And like
Healing Homebrew, you won't believe number 3.
Right. Yeah.
Sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
That's it. That was actually Mog put that as a joke in the chat of like your sponsor next Sunday or this Sunday would be Raid. But yeah, so like something
healing after effects or healing blowback or
healing blowback is pretty
healing
good.
Repercussion.
Okay. I'm gonna repercussion because I have right now, for those who are paying attention to the video, healing. I'm using the Homebrewery, which is a nice site to use to make like custom looking official custom official looking custom homebrew stuff for 5e or Pathfinder or other things. It's just a nice little resource that does a bunch of things for you with coding. Of like making tables.
Is there
and
a
such.
section for Call of Cthulhu?
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not sure. But this is what I use to put the our Astral Sorcerer on, to make it pretty easily available and shit. So I'm just kind of taking notes like that, and kind of just putting it in this document. Healing Repercussion / blowback is what I will put right now, because blowback. There we go. because I like that. I like the way that it is.
I'm thinking of I remember I mentioned a while ago that I was or mentally just kind of like doing the damage balancing of creating a D20 based Darkest Dungeon
Right.
TTRPG.
Mm-hmm.
And this would definitely be a mechanic in the Darkest Dungeon TTRPG because like a whole part of the game is giving your heroes time off to rest.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
So you would have 3 or 4 characters that you control. You have a level 7 fighter, a level 4 warlock, a level 6 cleric, and a level 7 barbarian. And then you choose which one you want to bring on which adventure. Based on what you like, the team comp you already have and what you think you'll run into. Certain enemies are more common in certain areas, which may have very deleterious or like beneficial like statuses they deal based on
I can make up words
who
too.
you have. Deleterious means harmful.
I know. I know it's a real word.
Ironically enough, I learned that word from the dumbest person I've ever met.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. I don't remember saying that to you.
Nice self-burn. Hell yeah.
You know what, Boo? Loath as I am to do it, I have to give you credit though. Like you've never said the words water anhydride to me.
Yeah, it's true.
That is true. He has never said that. I've never heard it.
Yeah, no,
And
I've never heard of it.
I remember I looked at the guy after he said that, and I like blinked off time, and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what was your other idea?
Yes. So my second idea is come on. Oh wait, I have to tab back in Discord. There we go. So my setting has a bunch of gods. It has its own pantheon.
Holy shit! You posted a goddamn thing. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just all your gods. I gotcha.
Ultrush, Fandel, Disgun, etc. If you follow certain gods, I have made it so that you have access to one spell that you normally wouldn't. So say you're a cleric, you will always have Call Lightning. Like druids can get Call Lightning. If you happen to be a druid of Ultrush, then the fact that they get access to Call Lightning doesn't really affect you.
Right.
Because you already have access. But if you are a sorcerer, for instance, I don't know if sorcerers get Call Lightning or not. They probably do.
No, I think that's only druids.
Oh, okay.
So.
If you happen to be a sorcerer of Ultrush, then you would get access to Call Lightning.
Okay.
Second thing I did was I made a custom level 2 and a custom level 3 spell for every single god except one.
Okay.
Which we'll get to him from there on. But I am looking for feedback, and so far I've told 2 people of this, one of which is my DM and the other of which is my the cleric of Duzgan, actually, the one that caused the brain damage and lesser restoration did.
Nice. Okay.
So he's currently working off the Duzgan bonus spell / 2 custom spells, but I am looking for feedback.
Okay.
So Ultrush, think of him as literally Zeus.
Okay.
Like Zeus and Thor had got married and then adopted a baby, and that baby was Ultrush.
Okay.
Very warlike, the leader of the gods. He is the god of war.
Yeah.
He's the father of orcs.
Okay.
And because like he creates a lot of storms, gets access to the 3rd level spell called lightning. And his custom spells are names subject to change, of course, but Wrath of the Righteous. It is a death ward for 1 minute.
Okay.
Whereas Death Ward normally lasts for like 8 hours, but it's a much higher level spell. So the trade-off is you only get it for 1 minute when you go, like, you're preparing for a battle that you know is going to happen, but it's only a 2nd level spell.
You may need to change the name though because of the Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous game now. Someone will sue you, I'm sure.
No.
All right, Storm of the Righteous.
There you go.
Hey.
It was easy.
Okay.
And the other one is Storm's Fury. It's a level 3 spell. You get it's basically a cheaper haste. 1 additional action per turn for 1 minute.
Yep.
But you can't do like the dash, disengage, or hide options that you normally would get with haste.
Okay.
Allowing you to move like fucking insane distances. This is more meant to be combat focused. Like you are in there and you are swinging your sword and you are not stopping swinging.
Yeah, I was gonna say it makes sense that it would be more that focus because it's the god of war.
You could also do, if you wanted to, you could do because you've got Call Lightning, Wrath of the Righteous, and then Storm's Fury. For the defensive one, you could do Eye of the Storm.
Yeah, true.
If you wanted to keep it like very storm themed.
Yeah, I love it, honestly.
Yeah, that's a good one. Very good one.
Eye of the Storm. And instead of Storm's Fury, I am thinking maybe Sudden Squall. I want to use the word squall.
Squall. Okay. In that case, squall. I just need to look at the word as well, just to like.
SKWALL.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
It's not. No, I just. God damn it. So okay. So using definitions is pretty good for my creative shit. But so with squall, then you could have it maybe be like you already have you don't thunderous squall. Considering it is a sharp increase in speed, in wind speed, right? And then because of that being like a big sudden wind, in the skirmisher's squall as well from Xmariv.
Yes, alliteration. I love it.
Yes, skirmisher's squall is much better than what the fuck I said. What did I say? Who cares?
Thunderous.
Oh damn! You should forget that. Squall was a bad character.
It's now Skirmisher's Squall.
Yeah, alliteration always wins out. Absolutely. I didn't know how much alliteration you want because I love alliteration.
Who gave that? Xmariv, thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, no, that's a great one.
So, my second god is Fandel. She is typically portrayed, unlike most other gods, she is portrayed as a human. She is a human with this like earthen brown skin and like mossy green hair. Sort of a heavier set woman. She is the goddess rather of nature. And all of my gods have like a good aspect and a bad aspect to them.
Sure.
And hers is she provides to every animal in the field, but she also provides to plants that may be seen as poisonous. She sees it more as like, dude, I I grew the nightshade there because it was starving for like water. It's not my fault it's poisonous to you. I provided for it.
Okay, gotcha.
That's an on you sort of thing.
Right.
If like Death Bell will kill you.
Yeah, don't eat it, you idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Like people who follow Fandel get view themselves as the absolute best way that you could use their body after they die is if it provides for the animals,
right?
Or like you bury them without like a coffin so that they can feed a tree or something. They want to be useful and provide for those around them. As such, no matter what class you are, only druids usually normally get druidcraft, but everyone who is a follower of Fandel's gets druidcraft and learns how to make like for instance, there was a prisoner they talked to, and he was growing like a little bonsai tree in his cell.
Yeah.
Nice.
Off of like there happened to be some like dirt that accumulated outside his window.
Nice.
And there was like a mostly dead tree that was outside his cell wall, and he was like, "I'm going to make sure you survive."
Yeah,
nice.
And he was like basically like pruning it and like Mr. Miyagiing a little tree outside his window, and they came there like, "What are you doing?" And literally, it's just all about making sure plants survive. It's a fairly little spell. It's only a cantrip, but I think it provides a lot of flavor.
Yeah. I mean, no, cantrips are like, even if they're weak, cantrips are some of the most useful spells in the game, regardless.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And plus, like, say for instance, you're a fighter who normally doesn't get spell slots. You can't use Ultrush's Call Lightning or Duzgan's Aura of Life, but you can use Fandel's Druidcraft.
Yeah. Be in that communion with the plants.
So, oh, god damn it, never mind. I was gonna say, so now I want to see a fighter who's like a fucking lumberjack.
No. Paul Bunyan.
Yeah. That'd be great, actually.
So, Vine Stride, it functions much like Tree Stride, but with any thick foliage, as opposed to Tree Stride can only be trees. And unlike Tree Stride, which is 500 feet, this is only 100 feet.
Okay.
So Tree Stride is like a third or fourth level. I think it's fourth.
I think it's fourth. Let me check. I have my thing. Tree. And that should get me it. Yeah, it's a fifth.
A fifth? Okay. So you get a fifth of the distance, but
at a fifth of the level, or whatever.
Nah. fifth of the distance, but it's a much easier spell for you to cast. And what's more, this was used in my campaign by a druid that literally melded into there was like this wall of ivy basically that was being grown, and he saw the party coming towards him and just straight up walked into the wall of ivy.
Nice.
So he did the Homer.
Yes, he in fact did the Homer.
Nice.
Very good.
Love it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's very good for that kind of thing. Absolutely.
Yeah. Early level, it can matter a lot for like displacement and stuff, and like getting out of danger, and this is kind of meant for that.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I can also see it being used really easily for like if you decide to play like a druid, a rogue, you could very easily use it to sneak around forests and stuff. Use it for some stealth.
Yep.
There's also currently no one has meant to think of it, but like if you happen to like throw a grenade with a few plant seeds and a bunch of like magical essence or something, you can like basically just throw that grenade, shatter it on the side of like a house or something, and then teleport up to the foliage it makes.
True.
Nice.
The third spell,
Sensing a little bit of Boris in that one.
Third
I wonder.
spell is a level 3 spell. And it can be upcast for 3 creatures whose CR will equal the spell level plus 1.
Mhm.
So at third level, it's 3 CR4 creatures. Their summoned creatures do the best to serve, aid, and protect you for 1 hour. And after that, they I haven't worked out entirely what they do after the 1 hour. I've just been like, oh, they're desummoned. That's currently where I'm at.
Yeah.
That would definitely be the simplest way.
I was gonna say, you don't really want to complicate it too much, because then you have to take into account when people summon, 4 fucking elephants into a place, and then they're like, "Hey,
now these are just here now,"
and then they just go.
Yeah.
Enjoy the free elephants.
Right. You could really upset the balance of your ecosystem quite fast.
Yeah. I'm thinking it would be sort of like how druids can normally only transform into the creatures that they've seen and studied.
Yeah.
It'd be similar.
Well, isn't there also what's that animal summoning spell that druids get?
Summon animal?
That no.
Or is it called something different?
Lesser aid or...
No, it's oh, there's also a summoned beast, really? Oh, that's Atasha's. That's a new one. I see.
Oh.
No, what is it called? Is it...
That's in Tasha's?
Yeah.
That would just be bare bones. Or
no, they didn't have a lot of things. What am I thinking of? Fuck. It's like you summon
I know there's a creature that expects payment.
No. What I'm thinking of is the one where you can summon 8 CR18 things or all that kind of and then or you can summon 4 CR2 things and or 1 CR4 thing. I can't remember what the fuck the spell is called. It's like a whole menagerie that you can do. It's just you have to choose when you cast it what you summon. Fuck. What is it called? Fuck.
That's the one where, again, hilariously going back to Z Bashu again.
Yeah.
He did one where it's how to break D&D in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And you just make a druid and you summon 8 raptors, and then he went through the thing of how bullshit 8 raptors can be if you build right. And I think he may have used the spell that you're trying to think of.
Probably. That's what I'm trying to... Yeah, let me just look at, I guess, summoning spells.
Monster summoning.
It's just... I want to know what the level of that spell is. That's basically my whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a conjure animals? Is that it?
Oh, that might be it. Yeah. Yes, it is. It is conjure animals.
Okay. Yeah. Conjure animals is a level 3 spell that allows you to 1 beast of challenge rating 2 or lower, 2 beasts of challenge rating 1 or lower, 4 of challenge rating half or lower, 8 of 1/4 or lower. And then they're also considered fey. And they poof when they're done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's a 3rd level spell that already exists.
Yes. Fuck.
Yeah, that's why I like the idea, but it's really powerful in comparison.
Yeah.
So I don't know about
that. I will just cross it out and workshop it.
Yeah, I think that needs to be something entirely different, I think, because you already have the ability here with conjure animals.
Yeah. Also, devout followers of Fandel can channel thoughts and emotions over distances 50 miles away through the trees by focusing.
So a different druid craft.
So kind of. So you can literally see an orc army, and you can settle into a tree and focus thoughts of danger of needing to get out. And if there happens to be a druid listening, whatever distance away it is, then they will get that vague sense of like unease,
Of
that
impending
like,
doom.
yeah, exactly. Something is going to happen. They just don't know what.
So they have to be listening, or is this like a passive thing as well?
They have to be listening while you're
Broadcasting.
Okay.
They have to tune into
broadcasting,
your
basically.
station.
I understand. Yeah, no, okay. That's,
so like
that's fine.
you can go, oh, within 50 miles of me, what's being broadcast, and get like
You're like
3 or 4 things, and you can try to like focus in on one of those.
Yeah,
and
Now I just want a
I'm-
druid to use this and fucking like I really want someone to get that and be like, what's being broadcast right now? It's like, well, you're near a town, so you do hear some advertisements for the local tavern's new pork buns.
yeah,
But other than that,
you
not really much.
the players are like, I wonder what's being broadcast, and you just play like, I've got spurs that jingle jangle jingle.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just
Yeah.
random radio stations.
Yeah.
It's like
Or
Fallout.
just any given like Arc-Knights or Braid Shadow Legends ad.
Yeah.
For the next god, I have 2 gods of the afterlife, actually.
Okay.
One of which determines if you view like law more important than people. That's Duzgan, and if you view people more important than the law, that's Duznok.
Okay.
So like, Robin Hood, for instance, steal from the rich, give to the poor, is very much Duznok's sort of thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Duzgan, of course, the good is the like the order that law gives in society. We live in a society.
What?
Yes.
Are you sure?
And the bad is, of course, people that exploit the law for their own gain.
Of course.
So they get access to the spell Aura of Life, which my cleric currently has access to. So I'm considering just changing the spell to something else.
Okay.
But
So what is the spell? Sorry.
At the end of your turn, everything within 30 feet of you, every friendly creature that you designate, which is, I think, choose up to 8 creatures, they gain 1 hit point at the end of your turn.
Oh, okay. So it's just a constant small.
It's a constant death ward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Now,
bad.
I'm now wondering, with your. Well, sorry. Are you going to try and implementing the healing thing that you had proposed before into this game as well, or is that more of a workshop?
Yeah, it's still very much on the cutting room floor.
Because I was gonna say like that would just eat through that shit.
1 hit point, no.
Doesn't it? Sorry, I guess I misunderstood. I thought like any healing.
Yes, it's only once you spend 12. So say you
sorry.
So say you've spent 11, you have not spent a hit die yet.
I understand.
Once that number ticks to 12, then spend a hit die and reset the counter to 0.
I see. Okay, never mind. Disregard.
So yeah, whole thing is making sure, if possible, keep law-abiding citizens alive.
That's what the law's for.
True.
Yeah, and this is like meant to like save people from like serial killers.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have access to Aura of Life. The second one that they have is Zone of Order. It's literally Zone of Truth, but you can stack it with Zone of Truth. Normally it functions just like Zone of Truth in that you cannot break the law and you cannot begin fights in an area if you fail the spell save DC.
Ooh.
But
Okay, so
it's unique.
Powerful calm emotions.
Kind of.
Okay.
It's unique in that you can stack it with Zone of Truth.
Right.
So they're only very like those two spells can be stacked. So you cannot lie, you cannot break the law, you can't begin fights. You have to be a good boy, and it makes every chaotic evil player around you squirm.
Well, you don't have to be a good boy. You just have to be a neutral boy. Really, you just have to not do anything, and you're fine.
That's only if you're in the order. Sorry, only if you're in the zone though.
Yeah, is it? Sorry, but oh, is that concentration? Otherwise, is that what that says?
Yes.
Ah,
yes.
okay. My eyes were seeing cone, and I was like, huh?
Mm.
But no, okay.
No.
It's just a cone in front
Yes.
of you, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
neat.
The cone of silence.
I miss cones.
It,
Cone of... But
Doesn't
okay.
get smart if anybody doesn't know that.
Cannot break the law. Cannot win fights. Okay, yeah. I mean that it's. So my immediate thing is like I just get this gut reaction of like powerful, right?
Yeah.
Like really strong. I don't know. It's just like if even with the stacking too, that makes it even more powerful. Because you could create a party of just clerics.
Well, I mean,
right?
you can already do that.
What I mean is, you could create a party of just clerics and never need to fight. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Which is fine if that's what you want to do, but it would also stop other disputes as well. It would make it so that you never got lied to, and you would always basically know the answers to your questions, because even a non-answer is an answer. You can even combine this with
unlike
read minds or whatever it is, detect thoughts, where you can
Mhm.
dive into people's minds and like find that shit too. Like you're gonna have a whole
you can
thing
already
of it.
do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this is just adding another thing to that.
What benefit is combining it though?
What do you mean combining it?
Why combine Zone of Order and Read Thoughts?
You don't want them to fight you while you probe their... You basically become the Inquisition, but instead of not allowing them to think, you are diving in to find out the information and think, and they cannot do anything against you.
So, two things about that. The first of which is that you can leave the area. Second of which is just because, like, say for instance in calm emotions, like you kind of become okay with it, with whatever, like your emotions have been calmed.
Yes.
This doesn't affect emotions,
right? And that's fine.
So if you have, like, this will stop, say, heat of the moment murders, for instance, but it won't stop a premeditated murder.
Right. So again, my thoughts here are more, you use this in a situation of which you have cornered somebody and make it so they cannot get away, because that becomes incredibly easy when they cannot fight you, right? Like they can't push past you to get out of there, because that's a violent altercation, right? Like in order to, because it, and you could even have it be where you are a part of the law and you are using this and you are the law. So if they go and like try to escape you, they are escaping questioning, right? Like
they're like resisting arrest and shit.
All that kind of stuff. Like you can kind of twist it pretty easily to fit your needs in that moment, and not like twist the law. It's literally just part of what the law is. If you are the law, then everything that you do is the law, right? I'm not like dissing on it or anything. I like the idea of having it. I just think that combined with other like factors makes it very strong.
So should I get rid of its ability to stack Zone of Truth? Should I make it like
It is.
Because I like Duzgan's whole thing is like being able to force the law upon someone
Sure.
is very much like part of Duzgan's like fuck yeah, dude.
I think honestly, maybe making it more of a single target thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, like having it be an area, sure, but that seems like you could do it to a mass of people. Maybe make a later spell that's like that, a more powerful version that does that. But for now, at a level 2, I think maybe doing it as a single target would make it so that you then have to pick like the guy that you want to go after. It makes it more of an intimate interrogation than it being you are absolutely powerful.
Than I walk into a bar fight and then just go, let's not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and again, this is level 2, so you're at like what, level 3, and you can already do this. You know.
Yeah.
It's just the power dynamic there is a little too much for the player, I think. And less for the scenario. Single target save to resist each round. Yes. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Save to resist each round. Yeah.
Just like a hold person, basically.
Yeah. SSDC each round. All right. The
save doesn't end just to ignore for a round. Oh, yeah, sure.
The second one was the law is my shield. If a lawful willing creature, then you give I worded that wrong. But if the willing creature is lawful, then they can just gain a +3 to AC, which you can stack with shield. So you can potentially, over the course of 2 rounds, boost a creature's AC by 5. It just takes time.
Is it concentration?
Yes.
Okay. In which case, yeah, you need two people to do that. One person needs to do each.
But it can be stacked with Shield of Faith, which means like it doesn't drop your concentration to cast the laws of the shield.
So we're breaking concentration then. We're breaking the rule of concentration then.
It's the same thing with Zone of Order. It can be stacked with Zone of Truth, but it's concentration otherwise. You can have Shield of Faith, which say for maybe it's concentration normally, but if Shield of Faith is already up, then it doesn't require concentration.
So then you have to change Shield of Faith to also be that way.
Shield of Faith does require concentration.
What I'm saying is if you want it to work in conjunction, in the sense of if you could cast one before the other, right? You could, unless you want it to be a progression, a actual progression, you then have to make it so that also Shield of Faith in your games acts the exact same way, where it breaks the concentration rule.
Maybe then, if the willing creature is lawful and Shield of Faith is already active on it, then you can cast the Law as My Shield on that creature, and it gains that +5 to its AC, but Shield of Faith is no longer active on it.
Okay, so you're making the buff turn into a different buff.
Yeah.
So then why have the first buff there in the first place?
Because you can pass off the concentration.
So
I in the scenario where say we have druid, cleric, and paladin. Druid moves to the front line. Then, as his turn, cleric casts casts Shield of Faith.
Okay.
So druid's AC goes up by 2.
Yes.
Then enemies do their thing, whatever. And then on his turn, the paladin casts the Law as My Shield.
Okay.
Which drops the cleric's concentration, because that spell is no longer in effect. because he takes over the concentration.
Okay.
So it's like
just-
you're kind of like passing a concentration requirement off to somebody else.
You can pass it to someone else, or you can pass it to yourself over the course of 2 rounds.
It seems convoluted.
Yeah, it seems like just a tad too much.
Because in which case I would just go, why not just have that spell just be a +5? It would just be a better a better Shield of Faith that you could do later on, right? Like it becomes, because Shield of Faith is the only spell like it as far as I'm aware.
I think so.
I don't. The only other one that I can think of is Shield, which is a reaction, which is basically for wizards, but it's that +5 that's a immediate thing. Whereas this would be something that could last. Right? It lasts until you break your concentration. Again, giving you that +5 for a long time. In which case, I would say maybe just make it an upgrade of Shield of Faith in making it a better spell, like in a different spell level where they don't have to worry about Shield of Faith anymore. They can take it still if they want to, but this is just a upgraded Shield of Faith option. Because
plus Shield of Faith can be cast on anything, whereas this has to be a lawful creature.
Yes, in which case you have to know alignments at that point. Now, I don't know. It's one of those things where I guess if your party is sharing alignments out of game and you're just working off that, sure. In game, it's one of those things if you have to then get to know the person a bit more, in which case you're using it on yourself more so. Which, again, the concentration thing is weird. I don't know. I don't like it. Just gut feeling about it.
That was literally come up with like a minute and a half ago. That was me spitballing ideas.
No, I just mean in general, like having it break concentration like at all before, and then like this switching over of concentration, it's like, why not just use a different spell at that point, you know? Just like have it be a different spell that doesn't require anything. Having it be for a lawful thing, I think, is fine. I don't have any issue with that necessarily. It's just you have to make sure that your target is lawful. How do you do that? Do you have them just go by actions, in which case they could be doing something for the right reasons because, or they could be doing something like lawful because it's what's convenient for them at the time, and then they're, then I guess it's a detect alignment spell in a way as well, because like if it doesn't work on them, you then know they're not lawful, right? And like again, it's a lot of weirdness to me.
You know what would be kind of interesting, actually? Sorry, I don't mean to.
No, you're good. I'm just
cut you off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you finish.
But
I think actually, speaking of not knowing, it kind of being a detect alignments thing, and using it to kind of figure out if it's someone lawful. It'd be interesting where if you cast it on someone who is unlawful, it would actually incur a penalty of some kind.
Yeah, I mean
that would be kind of interesting.
It'd be interesting if you did it to somebody chaotic. Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it gives them a -2, -3 penalty. That'd be neat. But the other thing is, it makes it so that you can only use it on some allies, right? Which is fine. I don't see why that would be a problem. It'd just be a more specialized spell, right? And again, I have no problem with the idea of it being something that is tied to alignment, but alignment is
not to mention it's also something that you get just for worshiping the god, so you don't need to worry about like spending a level and taking this spell.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. And like, but my primary concern is that the alignment of characters in 5e feels so nebulous to me.
Yeah,
right. It is. I like the idea, but in 3.5, I would say absolutely that has a place, right? Because alignment matters a lot more in that. Whereas really in 5e,
not so much.
It's not really much of a concern. it's just kind of there, you know?
It's just kind of grandfathered in.
Yeah, and I'm fine with it becoming more of a thing if you want to go that route with a lot of things. But I think it needs to be more than just like a spell, you know?
More like a class feature?
Well, more like a whole overhaul of how it works in 5e.
Yeah.
In the sense of like, we now need, I feel like we would need magic items that more are associated with alignment again, though they took those out, right? Because they didn't want to deal with them and shit. You know, it just opens a bunch of doors in my brain.
Yeah.
So getting back on task.
Sure.
Sorry.
Should it then maybe be changed to if can be cast on a creature, we remove the whole willing thing and allow it to be cast on a creature. If the creature is lawful, it gains +3 to its AC. If the creature is chaotic, it gains -3 to its AC.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool.
Because then it becomes, it's not like, and it's not necessarily like it is a alignment detector necessarily, but it's also just a benefit of it, right?
Yes.
Is like, and you would know more so it helps with like the actions of the party of like, you know who's gonna be following the law while the other one's gonna be like a little more lenient, so you know who you're gonna cast.
Meanwhile, the paladin being an absolute fucking casting it on the rogue.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, I mean, it's just, you will learn your lesson today, sir, right? Like, you will stop your chaotic ways. Follow the law.
+3 to AC.
Feel the scale tip out of your favor.
Oh my god. Love that.
Thank you.
That's some Anubis shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And changing it now to Justice is Blind.
I love that.
Yeah, that's good shit. Dude, you need to, like, I think another thing you need to do if you wanted to continue with that, like you enjoy the kind of alignment stuff, I think that just needs to be a subclass of something, like a subclass of Paladin. Where it's all about like punishing the specifically the chaotic and
it's what Oath of Vengeance should have been.
Yeah.
All right. So, Duznak is on the other end of the spectrum from Duzgan. Very much like supports stealing like a loaf of bread if it's to feed your sick sister.
Right.
As such, the spell that he gets is Heat Metal, because we oftentimes see paladins fucking wearing armor, and Heat Metal makes that fucking suck. The second spell, I've not had anything written out for it yet, because I would hoped the name would make it clear, but Alignment Obfuscation. So you can like detect alignment, or like if someone's good or evil. And depending on your world, for instance, in mine, you don't really detect it, but you get a feel as to whether or not they're chaotic or lawful or not. Just I've leveled up the spell just personally. But Alignment Obfuscation makes you, no matter what you are, appear true neutral.
Oh, okay. As an instant, like, huh?
I'm not sure about
bad sense.
I'm not sure about an instant true neutral, because I feel like in the real world, people who are true neutral are quite rare. And so I would say maybe instead of making you appear as one specific thing, maybe it lets you choose what you appear as?
No. I think that's a little too powerful.
Yeah.
Especially if alignment detection is like a thing for his world. It definitely feels like alignment is more of a focus. In which case, having them at a second level spell.
Well, then how about it's the base effect is you appear as true neutral, and if you want to select what you appear as, you can do that, but it doesn't last nearly as long. Like it lasts like a minute.
I still
sounds like overcomplicating the
yeah.
spell.
I still don't. I don't think that's necessary.
So far, the way that I had mentally just sort of filed it away as how I would describe it is that you get no particularly strong feelings one way or the other.
Okay.
It isn't.
They just kind of
that's right. You didn't mention that. That's my bad.
Yeah.
That it's more of an impression, not just this person is lawful evil.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you also don't get any particularly strong feelings. Like you get no visual feedback of good or bad, and you also get no feelings for lawful or chaotic. Like
so now
they literally just look like an average person.
So now, would that not raise any alarm bells, or is that kind of a common thing?
I think
you're like, if you're checking alignment, is it common-ish where you would be like, you don't get any feelings either way?
Yeah, no, that's fairly common.
Okay.
Yeah, and I feel like
if a person's just like, I don't know, a fucking waiter, for instance,
right,
trying to make rent, trying to make ends meet, try to pay the bills,
as it were.
Yeah, it's just they're just a person that they may have a little bit of good in them, they may have a little bit of evil in them, just because everyone's like that.
Yeah, exactly. It makes sense that the more pronounced it is, the more you would see it.
Yeah. This basically takes that whole, like, if someone cast detect alignment on you, they would definitely get like almost like a sickeningly strong feeling of like, I don't give a fuck about the law. I'm chaotic as fuck. And maybe evil, maybe good. And this just kind of resets that, makes you go under the radar and appear normal.
Yeah,
I see.
And I'm totally good with it being the way it is right now. That's totally fair.
Yeah.
I think it's honestly.
I'm completely fine with both of my suggestions being shot down. That's fine.
Good.
Good.
Yeah, no, like
welcome to the discussion.
Yes. No, it's good.
This is where things get a bit hairy for this god. And this is I designed this spell to be the opposite of bark skin. Okay. And I had a friend recommend to me that we call it slime skin.
Sure.
You roll a con save, or and if you fail, your AC cannot be higher than 14 on an armored humanoid. So you can't cast slime skin on the Tarrasque, say, because it's not an armored humanoid. You can't cast it on a peasant because they're not armored.
Unless they are armored. An armored peasant, as it were.
In which case, yes, you could cast it.
Okay. Just checking.
The AC 22 paladin with or 24 with Shield of Faith and shit plummets down to 14.
Okay.
But this is a concentration spell.
Right.
And what's more is single target.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like it that it is armored. Like, specifically, they have to be wearing armor of some kind.
This is a touch spell as well, yes?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm fine with it. I'm absolutely
fine. I think it's good.
Let me make sure I have that written. I had meant for it to be, but I just don't want to forget it.
Right. And this could be for a cleric, this could be for a wizard, a sorcerer, whatever, and it puts them in danger, but it also gives a huge benefit. I'm very much a fan of that.
The third, speaking of utility, the next god is the god of wealth in my campaign.
Gucci.
Yes, and no, it isn't because of Shia Gorath Zoom, the song "Zoom In" by Young Scrolls, with his song "I'm a Gucci god, I'm a bougie god."
I see. Not at all. It could never be.
It's certainly not that. It's the god of wealth, the god of excess, of looking looking fine. You
have
the
god of drip.
Yeah.
Yes, he's very much the god of drip. He is like very much like the I got ice on me sort of. But upon making an intimidation or persuasion from literally from like level 1, roll a d6. 1 to 2, no effect. 3 to 5, a +1 to the roll, and upon rolling a 6 on the d6, +2 to a roll.
Okay.
So, always active, always in effect. It's never not in effect, but your words are dripping honey.
Nice.
I was gonna say honey dipped. Damn it.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
And maybe as necessary, do like +3 or +4. Make that like rolling a 6 better. If your character is like hyper specking into being the face of the party, maybe make it better. But as needs be, this is sort of the base.
Right. I'm wondering if what you should have first off is the cantrip for this be vicious mockery, of course. I feel like having the words be there always so that you may first off hurt their pride, but of course also hurt their mind. It fits so well.
They absolutely should have a vicious mockery. You're right.
It just fits so well. You always know exactly what to say to cut through those people.
You just always have like it's just some springs to mind instantly. It's like, you know what? I know how to be an absolute bastard to
absolutely.
And I feel like if you're the god of wealth, you should be able to or you follow the god of wealth, sorry. I feel like you ought to be able to I guess I don't know what the word would be. I don't know. Like, never mind. I lost it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, right.
No worries. Yeah. He's okay. So you also
like, what's this celebration? Something I'm too rich to understand. Everyone around you goes, ah.
Yes, exactly. You just I see the pigs
Trevor Wallace
rolling around the sty again.
Anytime he's playing his rich character.
Yeah.
It's like the other day I was talking to a shorter person who I don't particularly like.
Okay.
So Alejo.
Hey, I am short. Hello.
So because I didn't like them, I chose to do the dickish thing of like sort of leaning over and putting hands on knees.
Oh, ooh, that hurts. Ooh.
And they said, what was it? You know, you don't have to talk to me like I'm a child.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'm hoping that if I talk to you like a child, I hope you'll understand me.
There you go. Oof. Very good. Cutting words, one might say.
Yeah.
That is precisely like what comes to mind with the god of wealth having vicious mockery.
Oh, absolutely.
The next god, or unless if you had any final.
No, I'm just spinning my wheels at the moment.
Okay. The next god is Igni. His true name is unknown. All that's known is he's like Prometheus. He gave the first fire spell to man, and Igni is the verbal components of such a spell. And no one knows what his true name is, but Igni's just kind of what everyone refers to him as.
Hell yeah.
He gains access to Fox's cunning, of course, boosts your intelligence.
Of course.
And the way that typically he's worshipped is you like sort of like burnt sacrifices, but these burnt sacrifices are books. You literally burn books to him. and the books then go to some fucking vast library where he'll have like thousands of copies of like a book.
Hell yeah.
And he checks them to make sure that they're like consistent. So he had
the greatest editor of all time.
He has like billions of books like memorized, and just out of game, he is fucking paranoid. Like he is crippled with fear that there is something he does not know.
So he's Zinch.
Yeah, he's literally. I based him off of a mixture of Sinch and Yogg-Sothoth.
Nice.
And he's checking, like, he will read a 300-page book in a second and go, okay, yeah, that book's right. Okay, that's as I remember it. Okay, put it back on the shelf. Grab the next book.
As I remember it. Ooh.
Nice.
Ooh. Nice. I like that.
And then he reads another book and he's like, wait a minute, that one word out of place kind of casts doubt on that previous book.
Picks up another book of the same copy and it's got the word in the right place and he's like, what happened?
Yeah.
What the hell's going on here?
He sounds like he'll have basically the Hounds of Tindalos that appear at angles.
Nice.
And he will have them like check the editor's hall basically to see like, did they just make a mistake or was this intentional?
Right. Only finds the one instance and goes,
onto a special shelf with you.
I've got to find who made this. I've got to find their soul, and I've got to ask them.
Like literally what people will do is they'll burn books to worship him, and he will honor all sacrifices, no matter how low the worship is. So say you're a student cramming for his final tomorrow morning, you read through the book, you're like, okay, I'm done with the book, and you throw it on the fireplace and say mutter a quick prayer before you go to bed for the night. He will bless you on that final the next day.
Fuck yeah.
Nice. But now you gotta buy the textbook again, so
yeah, get fucked, nerd.
Dude, class is over. Like,
True.
Most mages guilds in the country of Perignus, named after Igni, of course, because the country is founded upon religious freedom. Most of the mages guilds in that area specifically have the book bindings, which are for most books kind of like the least flammable part of them. The mages guilds in that area, the bindings are made out of a special material that's meant specifically to be burned. Nice. Because they operate under the assumption that, like, realistically, let's be honest, every student's going to burn the book. Because so many people are sacrificing millions of books, per day, you send up a prayer as an action and then just kind of wait around 10 minutes. And within 10 minutes, a book will plop into existence at your feet that discusses this issue. So it's him going, okay, I've read this book 50 times and I have 5,000 copies. You can have one. I don't care.
I do like that. I like also Zamarev says, can't wait to burn my Dr. Seuss books. Hell yeah.
And so I remember what I was gonna say for Gucci. I feel like since there ought to be like you ought to get like just a bonus to persuasion if you do it in such a way where you're like trying to impress somebody, where you're like, you know, it's like, excuse me, guard, and you like flip your wrist and there's a fucking Rolex. Could you tell me the time? My watch is broken. It's like, could you also point me towards the clock tower? You know, that kind of shit where you can be like the slimiest, scuzziest motherfucker, just using your money to your advantage and trying to get people to do what you want with it.
Sure.
I would love that.
intimidation, persuasion, and then I will say performance to make it look like you're rich.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Performance, absolutely.
Performance to make you look bougie.
Boosh.
Nah, yeah.
Oh yes, the bourgeoisie.
Just be like,
Because I would just love being able to just like fucking make it rain and get people to do shit.
Welcome to peasantry. Yes, my lord. Yes, what do you need me? What do you need of me? Yes. I'll do anything for a copper.
Take this gold piece and
grab a handful of like platinum and be like, I just finished speaking to the meteorologist. He said it was going to hail, and like throw a fistful of platinum at him.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, my lord. Yes, of course. You're very wise, my lord. Of course. Yes.
Now get out of my sight,
Oh, of course.
peasants.
Yes, my lord. Yes. You're very. I hope you have a wonderful day, my lord.
Please, here, take this golden piece and go get me some food. Sir, the food around here is only a few copper. Exactly. Keep the change.
Oh, yes. Lord.
Like
I would love that.
He's very much the character. It's like, oh, here's a platinum. Go buy me a ration.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
but a ration costs. He's like, and then he interrupts you like, it's just a ration. How much can it cost? 5 gold?
It just keeps giving you more.
Yeah.
I don't care. Keep the change.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to distract from the other one.
Yeah.
No, you have added to my spells.
Okay.
So, you summon a book, poofs into existence at your feet. It deals with specifically this issue.
Yep.
And like you can like say stack this with like after you've cast tap into the font, you wait until the book appears and you go okay, and you cast Fox's Cunning and you skim the fuck out of that book.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, it's you summon a book that deals with this issue, which is kind of vague. So it can be like, how do I sneak past this fort's moat, for instance?
Mhm.
And you'll summon a book on moat design.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, or he's a dick and he gives you how to build a bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How to build a boat in 5 easy steps.
Yeah, exactly.
Number 3 will shock
You won't believe number 3.
Yeah. I do like that. I like that it could be fickle too.
Yeah, like a
because like he's
Oh,
like
yeah.
really
small
distracted.
to work with.
You know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Speaking of fickle homunculus,
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
the next spell is with friends like these.
Oh.
It's a 3rd level spell. You summon a tiny fire elemental
Hmm.
inside an open book,
Oh.
who will answer 3 questions honestly, either vaguely or to the best of his ability, depending on the difficulty of the question.
Oh.
Duration 1 page per second. So like you can summon him on a big book with like 1,000 pages,
Right.
and he will be there literally just waiting until you ask him questions for
Mhm.
quite a while. If you summon him on like a fucking Gideon Bible,
Right.
then like he's only gonna be there for a couple minutes. But he will try to answer 3 questions for you.
Mhm.
But if it's like, how do I get across this boat? He'll be like, build a boat.
Yeah, he's just like, just jump it, idiot.
Yeah. Just like the most
Swim,
unhelpful little shit ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like either he'll answer it honestly,
Mhm.
but he may be a bit of a fucker if you ask him a real tough question and give him like a real shitty book to be summoned on.
Oh, I see. You read Charlotte's Web in 5th grade, huh? Wow. Good for you.
Fucking everybody did. You're not
Yeah,
special.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Why'd you keep it so long?
It's like you summon it and he goes, actually Catcher in the Rye deals with this exact issue.
Yes. Oh man.
And then you're like, no, you fucker, what? And he's like, And then that's your second question, and he's like, read Catcher in the Rye.
And you're like, what page?
And you're like, what page? And he's like, about the middle somewhere, I think. And then
it's like all gone.
So now, how often can you do this?
So long as you have spell slots.
Yeah. It's a third level.
Okay.
Looks like.
Because I'm about to do some real Tharnanar level shit with this.
Oh, it's so good. I love that.
I love it. I love like almost antagonistic helpers.
Yeah.
They're so fun.
But if needs be, like this is my trying to imply but not outright state that this is your time to be a fucker as the DM.
I will take that offer. I will take it and run with it. Thank you.
Of course. Literally, like, all of his spells are meant to be like, well, technically he answered your question. Like, this is the monkey's paw curled.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, monkey's paw, absolutely. Fuck.
The next god is Disra. This is basically Aphrodite.
Okay.
She is the wife of Ultrush, actually, the leader of the gods. And is hold on, let me see if I can.
Well, here's hoping they're not in a fucking Hephaestus Aphrodite relationship. That
Ingridel, Pantheon of Ingridel. I'll just get you the quote because I think I did a good job introducing her.
Okay.
The goddess of pleasure, wife to Ultrush. Her good aspects: she is the patron goddess of love, sex, fertility, music, and art. The bad: she's also the goddess of vice, irresponsibility, freedom of inhibition, prostitution, and hedonism.
Okay, so she's Slaanesh if Slaanesh wasn't all bad.
Yes. Followers of Disra are typically flashy, draped in scandalous, if tawdry clothing. Many quote-unquote bards claim to be a devotee of Disra, plucking a couple chords on a lute and sexually assaulting the nearest barmaid.
Oh my god.
While myopic pursuit of base pleasures is all well and good, they ignore many facets of Disra's worship, leading her to be far more likely to bless those who take a holistic approach to her worship. Those who pray to her for a muse, those who pursue various pleasures in all walks of life. Artists and songwriters are just as valid as great chefs and thrill seekers.
Nice. You do so much better at world building than I do.
Thank you.
No, I mean, like, seriously, I can't come up with gods, dude.
And
their motivations and shit. I can't do that shit.
Going to channel my inner Gucci vicious mockery and say, I know.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
There you go.
And I have to just give this as context for one of the spells. Mileto, the saint of unrequited love. Long ago, a man fell in love with the priestess of Disra, but the god of storms, Ultrush, did not approve of the mortal, and as such cursed him and turned him into an albatross. He then ordered the four winds to carry the albatross all across the corners of the world, so that the albatross would be so blown about by the wind that he never got the chance to confess his love. To this day, albatrosses are considered symbols of love.
Okay.
They're considered, but they're not.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Albatross is funny, okay?
Dude, albatrosses are so cool. That's why I was like, I need to include them.
It's just a funny word.
So, they get access to the spell Calm Emotions.
Yeah, fair.
So, they're very much based on the, like, either amping or calming emotions as need be.
Makes sense.
Their special spell is Mileto's Bravery, which is as a reaction. If someone tries to displace you using a spell, as a reaction, you can counterspell being displaced and being like, nah, I'm staying.
Right. Yeah. Very specific. Not too powerful. Absolutely.
Based off of the idea of Mileto, who was an albatross and cared about by the four winds, you learn from that and you go, no, I'm staying.
Yeah,
Somebody tries to push you over, you go, actually.
I'm a bird.
Yeah. Motherfucker.
No, bitch. I can fly.
Good luck pushing me when I'm in the air, you shitter.
The other spell is a ritual, actually. It's called Find Your Muse. You 10 minutes cast as a ritual. You prep for 10 minutes while tuning your instrument or arranging your paints or like doing mise en place if you're a chef.
Sure.
You prepare your art basically for 10 minutes. And when you do so, you gain advantage on the creation of your art.
Cool.
So, like, say you're a great chef preparing, like, a kick-ass pot of stew. You're, like, spending 10 minutes carefully arranging all the foods and all the ingredients very precisely. And then you get to roll with advantage on how good of a soup you make.
Nice.
And if you're a miniatures painter, you can get advantage on painting them, and they don't look like shit.
Yeah.
Yes. If you cast this spell and you play Warhammer, then you're about ready to add your paint to the sculpture, and you go, wait, no, too thin coats.
I see. I'm over here popping all of my paints open, making sure they're consistent, and then closing them again so they don't run out of consistency. Setting up my wet palette, giving a couple of drops
sure
here and there.
Your lighting is right, grabbing a snack and a drink for yourself.
Making sure my brushes are all finely kept, and if I need to replace them.
Finally kept, and they're all like parallel to each other, and
and then
perfectly vertical.
And then 3 hours later, then you go to bed.
Exactly. I was gonna say. Well, that was enough work for prep.
Yeah,
time for bed.
There we go. A job well done.
Just looks at the model. It's still gray. Just
All right, I'm ready to paint
tomorrow.
God damn it. That hits hard for us.
I know. Yeah. I still have so much plastic here. Oh my god.
Yeah, I have so much shit just sitting next to me that needs to be fucking finished.
So that is all my spells.
Sure.
But I want to give one final note on Igni because literally he's my favorite.
I had no idea. What do you mean? This is nonsense.
But let's see, where's the quote? He's worshipped far and wide, be it students cramming for a test or a hag petitioning for dark secrets. Sacrificing knowledge that is unattainable without the book gives him the most joy. A one-of-a-kind manuscript being lost to humanity forever. Or to give an IRL example, the burning of the Library of Alexandria. Months or years of a professor's research and his only notebooks piled high and sacrificed. Whispers exist of some darker corners of his devotees, sacrificing people of great knowledge alongside their writings, so as to wholeheartedly destroy any hope for the reclamation of that knowledge.
Damn.
So,
that's
like,
cool.
Cults of Igni will gather every book that someone ever published, as well as, like, every copy, which is, like, a month's or years long effort of the entire cult devoted to this. And then at the very end, they'll kidnap the author and they'll sacrifice him on top of a pyre of his own works.
That's fucking cool.
Metal.
That's some 40k shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, it's Siege.
Very grimdark.
Yeah, it is Siege.
Yeah.
So like, given that he's the one that first gave the first fire spell to man and sort of kind of set us on this progress, and if you have like great inventions, great works, he will bless you and sort of give you a muse of his own. So that you can go on to create even greater and bigger, better things. But it's unknown whether he gave this out of like the generosity of his heart, or for like the same reason a farmer plants an apple seed and nourishes the apple tree so that he can reap the
I
knowledge.
was gonna say, yeah, I like that dichotomy.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
no one knows.
Oh
But-
no!
Nobody even knows his true name,
Yeah,
Yeah,
let alone his true motivations. That's very
Yeah.
cool.
good detail.
hmm
All right.
Aiden.
Hmm.
Or actually, I feel like at some point, I want all four of us to work on a thing.
I was actually thinking that a while ago of like having us all just like work on many different facets of world.
Yeah,
Building.
like Aiden, you do the world building. Alejo, you do like the world design, like the actual world itself, because you're good at open world shit.
Am I?
And I can handle like character and story stuff.
Mm.
And obviously there'd be like plenty of overlap,
Oh,
it's like
absolutely.
if I make like a shitter, then you guys have the ability to say, yeah, no shitters. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then like we can put all of our favorite like recurring characters in there, like
Oh,
M.
sure.
Tarkander, Runder Skunderson is there somewhere.
Of course.
my only thing to add would be if we did do that and like I did world building,
Mhm.
I like would need to be able to shape the continent and stuff, because like literally like even so far as like the borders of all
Yeah.
of my countries are all because like war happened and
Mhm.
shit.
I can actually I have the same site and tools that I use to make my continent. I can show you that, and there it can be a lot more in depth than what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you use Asgar's fantasyhub.io?
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I used, and then I used Incarnate for all my city maps.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
knew that.
I learned to use Incarnate for
Incarnate's fucking
City.
great.
It is a good one. All right. Well, there was more homebrew stuff, but that was. I mean, we've gone 3.5 hours now. It's like 12:30 now. So
Yeah.
I think that'll do it for us for tonight. We'll get back to more of them, at a later date. It's always
we'll
fun
do
to brainstorm together and all that shit.
Yeah, and we'll do more of the nerds next week because I
Yeah.
have the second one already.
Yeah, we can do that. We can look into it and yeah.
See what other kind of weird shit is actually in there, and maybe see there's like Slurmy 2.
Slurmy 2
Slurming.
electric boogaloo.
Yeah.
But yeah, good shit. I think yeah, we'll do that and then something else as well next week. We'll see what happens. But for now, hey, thanks for sticking around and shit. It's time for comments.
Oh boy.
All right,
It's the end.
This is where I'm gonna peace out
That's what I
because I
figured.
gotta buy a couple games, and frankly, I should have gone to bed a half an hour ago.
Yeah.
But goodbye.
Goodbye. Don't forget.
Oh, he's gone. Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, that was fast.
But yeah, so we have some comments to read. And I will get them up right now. Okay. So, 2 comments. First up, Normal with a face in their thing. On last week said, "Oh freak, I missed this love talk." Cool. Thanks.
Okay.
Sorry you missed it. I'm glad you could watch
sorry
it
you
later.
missed it, but hey, at least you were able to see the VOD.
Yes. And then we have Lux.
Yep.
So, this was an hour ago. Or no, not an hour ago. This was an hour before when I actually looked at it. Anyway, so Lux says on last week, anyone can just say first. True victory lies in writing the longest comment.
Ha!
Of course, I've pushed the writing of this one right up to the last minute, so no time to edit. Good luck, everyone.
Oh boy.
On using a character's family, one more idea. They can be an enemy. If you like to set your characters up for some psychological torture, this is one way to do that. Campaign spoilers here, but I'm pretty sure the players don't watch this channel. But just in case, to anyone playing in Hollow's Last Hope or Crown of the Kobold King, who knows of a kobold druid named Vera, don't listen to this part. In a module I've decided to run, a tribe of kobolds that has fallen into a run of bad luck decides to kidnap some children from a nearby town and sacrifice them in a ritual that's supposed to end whatever curse they think is on them. So of course, the party is supposed to go find and rescue the children. It has worked out. One of the PCs in the game is the kobold druid I mentioned above. Secretly, she's actually from that very same tribe, and a daughter of its king. On the night when the previous king died, she witnessed the chaos that broke out as his heirs slaughtered each other, with her father emerging as the sole survivor. Seeing that left her disturbed, knowing it was going to happen amongst her own someday, and watching them all grow distant from one another as they started preparing themselves for that. So eventually, not wanting to go through that again, or have to try to kill her brothers and sisters, she ran away. And now this quest she's going to be taking up soon will have her heading right back over and fighting her own tribe. She's the type of person who will do what is right even if it's something she doesn't want to do, and she was created as a character specifically so this would happen. But she'll be in for a wonderfully traumatic experience when we get there, being forced to do exactly what she had to run away from. So I'm looking forward to that.
Nice.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
I like the idea of having a character come out of someone's backstory and be in a significantly different situation now. It means that that character has been living their own life, even while the player wasn't watching them, almost as if the world around them exists and continues to function even when it's not being shown on screen. Mm-hmm. I also have some real-life experience with this concept. There's a Let's Player I used to watch a few years ago, before he stopped doing LPs. I thought that would be the last I saw of him, but then I found out recently that he's back on YouTube as a host on a podcast that discusses D&D and RPG-related content. It was an unexpected change, but it goes to show that you never know what life will throw at you.
Yeah, I mean,
sounds like a cool guy.
Yeah, sounds okay.
Yeah. On a last note, I wonder what your take would be on the idea of a player taking on the role of an actual canonical character in a campaign. I mean, of course, assuming the campaign takes place in the actual setting where the character exists. For example, let's say someone playing Deadpool in a campaign set in the Marvel Universe, not a clone of Deadpool, but actual Deadpool. So first off, right off the bat, I go, that is way too restrictive.
Yeah.
I don't want
because
to
now
be...
you're Deadpool.
Yeah, I don't want to be.
And obviously
with
Deadpool, you have at least some leeway because of how batshit and random he is, and there are stories where he is kind of serious.
Yeah, it's true.
But say you're playing like Wolverine or any of the characters that's a bit more, focused. Mm-hmm. You're kind of stuck playing them one way.
Yeah,
which is not very, at least to me, that's not very appealing.
And you can take them a different way, but then it becomes, that's not that character anymore. That's your own character.
Then it's kind of, there's no point.
Right. They are archetypes for a reason. And if you don't follow the way they are, it's not that character, and you're just playing a different version of that character that is its own thing.
That's not them anymore.
Yeah, and I don't feel like it. It's just not what I want to do.
Yeah, that's that's kind of the reason why we don't really like Tulok the Barbarian.
Yeah, not really into what he says. Though, I mean, to be fair, it's more just the fact that he doesn't do the things very well as far as what I saw back then. It was more just that, and not like that. I understand it's hey, this is a template. If you want to play a character like this, you can make that argument, and that's fine. I get that. This is what you want to take to become that powerful. But at that point, it's you're just another version of Goku, right? Yeah. So you're Broku. Neat. Mm-hmm. Anyway. Or on the same note, how about playing one of the iconic characters that represents one of the classes in D&D or Pathfinder? Someone sees artwork of Meriziel in the book and immediately thinks, you know what, I want to play Meriziel. So for that as well,
at least with that one, you're basically just playing a picture of a person because their personalities aren't really, unless they are.
No, see, when we're talking about iconic characters, if we are talking about just what they look like, then sure. Okay.
Oh, wait, does that... Because I was going to say, I've never even heard of that person as a character even at all.
I think
so I didn't know if they had an established personality.
Person might be in Pathfinder.
Oh, yeah, true.
I don't know. But it's another thing of the same... Like, we talked about it before or it was talked about even before with, like, Drizzt, right?
Yes.
Playing as Drizzt, you're just Drizzt, right? Like,
yeah, you're just Drizzt.
It's the same kind of thing as the previous question.
Yeah.
Personally,
yeah,
I think,
like the thing is, if you're into that, great.
Yeah.
But we're not.
No.
Not so much because we want to play who we want to play.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather be my original character, Do Not Steal.
Yes.
Of my turtle fucking anthropologist who is morally gray and is totally willing to take all of the natives off of the land if there is a historical site there that he can establish. He's a fuck. But he's very nice. But he's a fuck.
Good. Okay, then.
Personally, I think that the issues to take into account would be power balance, whether the character actually fits into the story of the campaign, or how well the player actually knows the character and is able to portray them. Knowing an established character well enough to play them faithfully is no minor task. That said, unless the campaign is being recorded and uploaded, there's not any legal copyright issue with the idea because it's a private use and not intended to generate profit and has not a real way to be detected by the copyright holder anyway. Yeah, and I mean, that's not a concern for anyone that isn't, like, a content creator, obviously. But also, like, so I can see a character being in a game that you talk to that is that character, right? Like, you go in the Marvel campaign, you talk to Spider-Man for a little bit, because Spider-Man's very personable, and you can do Spider-Man pretty easily. You just be Spider-Man. It's not that hard, actually, if you think about it.
It's not always about the money, Spider-Man.
It's about the Mets.
It's about the Mets. God damn it.
I saw that again in a different video. Somebody was, like, watching it, and I was like, yes! Nice. Anyway, so it's the knowledge of that character can only get you so far. I mean, you can make a very educated, inference or guess on what the character would do in a specific situation, but if you put them in a situation of which they have no experience whatsoever, it's one of those things where, I don't know, man, it feels like very restrictive. Like, you will have to do it this way, If you make that character change, sure, that's fine, but how much of that character is that character anymore, I would also say the iconics are probably easier to work with than any other canon characters. With Pathfinder 1E at least, you can find a pre-generated character sheet and backstory for each of them on the wiki, but there's a lot more room to fill in the blanks with your own interpretations of them than there would be for Deadpool or Batman. Excuse me. So you would be able to make more of your own creation out of them. Of course, I assume they're really just there as example characters, or maybe for a DM to possibly use an NPC, but they're still perfectly usable players if you copy their stats over to a proper character sheet. And yes, in that case, I would agree entirely. If we're talking about that, then there's so much left vague that you can absolutely play them however you want. Somebody's, what did you say their name was? Mariciel, might not be the same as another person's. In that respect, and that's fine, there's no canon for that, unlike Drizzt. So my take on that is whether it's a good idea or not just depends on how well the player can make it work. Of course, it's also the DM's prerogative. They just don't want their campaign to have any more established characters from a setting in it as party members. But that's a decision to be made on the conceptual level of the campaign, and I'd still say a DM could allow iconics while disallowing any other type of canon character, just because iconics aren't really used as major characters in any widely known published stories. I do know of a comic series that actually featured them, but it's not exactly treated as essential knowledge for the Galarian setting, so I don't believe it's really considered to be strongly canonical. That's just how I would treat the issue personally. Okay, good night. Good night.
Sounds funny.
No, yeah. So again, I'm fine with it being an icon, but yeah, if it's something that is like super detailed to the point of like you can't really have much leeway, then it's like,
yeah, then it's like, because eventually you're gonna want to do something that character probably wouldn't want to do,
right?
Eventually,
and like potentially, I mean, it depends, right? Like, are you that same person? Like,
yeah.
I don't know if we put, let's say somebody is playing Spider-Man. Okay, let's go with Spider-Man. We put Spider-Man in a situation where, first off, he's in D&D, I guess. No, he's in the Marvel universe. Okay.
He's in New York because he can't be anywhere else.
No, that's not true.
It's literally impossible.
Shut up. Hey man, it's really expensive going anywhere else. Okay, he's like broke half the time.
It'd be more expensive to do that shit.
Hey man, he's broke half the time. It's fine.
That's true.
But have him. Fuck, I have to think of something that he hasn't done ever. And that's the problem, right? Like,
yeah, because he's done like everything. He's done
everything, and every character has ever like talked to him, and fought him or whatever. Like, there's so little room for me to go, this is something new for Spider-Man to fight or be a part of, right? It becomes something that
there's nothing.
Right.
He's fucking fought dinosaurs, dude.
Right, yeah. He fucking became a fucking man spider at one point. Like,
yeah.
He fucking killed Mary Jane with his radioactive semen, okay? Like,
yeah.
It's crazy what he's done, okay?
Yeah. And how about him? Okay, so who is one of the less common Spider-Man girl characters? Because I know Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy. Isn't there another one?
Maybe.
Okay. Well, how about Spider-Man and Gwen? We'll go with Gwen Stacy.
Sure.
Gwen Stacy are going on vacation and they're on a train, and they have to solve a crime on a train together.
Okay.
How about that?
Sure.
So he can do like the fighting and stuff, but he can't really do the web slinging. He can't like fly around with it.
Okay.
And how about it's what is one of the more like I'm putting too much into this. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No, I don't know.
Yeah. Now I'm just coming up with a story.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, this is the thing. I think those kinds of characters are better for coming up with a story. Like, you want to make your own comic, quote unquote. You want to make your own storyline with them, quote unquote. That's what you make. You don't necessarily play them, You write how they act because you understand how they act. It's very easy for you to go, Spider-Man, a good man. Good Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
And he will do the right thing, even at the cost of his like well-being and
unless
financial.
It's one more day. I knew I'd get something from that. Anyway, go on.
But it's one of those things where you can guess how he's gonna act in your story, and it can be as close canonically as possible. But then when you're playing him, you might think that it's a different scenario or something, right? Like, there might be a better way to do it that is less Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Spider-Man.
Anyway.
I can't.
No, it's
fine.
I have
to keep going.
So, yeah, I've just realized that it's getting later and we still have to go make characters. So, at the moment, I think that's where we're gonna stop with all of this.
Okay.
So
did we finish? Is that the end of the comment, or did we not finish it?
that was the end of the comment. Yeah, he said
Oh,
good night.
okay.
Yeah. So hey, out there, thanks for watching everything. Subscribe if you're new. Like the video or whatever. Leave a comment. Tell us about some of the stuff. Maybe have some more suggestions about the homebrew stuff, or really what you think about the NERDS campaigns, if you've you've got any of them. You know, like what maybe what you think about the first one, since we're gonna go through them all. And don't forget, on Thursday we're gonna be doing the live stream.
Yes.
Of Delta Green. And Sunday we're gonna be doing the live stream of Back for Blood.
And
both of those.
It's not exactly Delta Green. In this case, it's going to be Sigma Gray.
Actually, no, it's called what the fuck was the thing called? Hold on, I do have a name for it.
Oh, nice. I was just fucking around.
No, I actually do. Oh fuck, I had it, and now my brain can't.
Well, it's late. Let's just leave. They'll find out about it later. That's the cliffhanger.
yeah, you'll find out what it is on the day. But thank you again to our patrons. That's Draco Kraken, Mog Zero, Slazer, Steely, Drake Cross, Chris, Frozen Spaghetti, and Kill Chrono. Thank you all for your patronage. Thank you to all the donations that came in today. Appreciate that. Nerds Friday win.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god. And other than that, you can find the podcast on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It's EDT. That's what it is right now. Eastern Daylight Time. And again at
no, it's at nighttime technically.
Yeah, shut up. And then again on Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Or whatever the fuck. My brain is starting to fry. And then again, as an audio only version on your podcasting service of choice around noon on Mondays, EDT. Other than that, tune in for the streams. It's gonna be cool. Tomorrow there will be a Devils and Dice coming up at 4 p.m. EDT. Once I get it rendered again, because it fucked up when I was updating my video driver, and so it just fucked everything. But I gotta do that, and then I'll upload it tomorrow, and you can watch that. And thanks, thank you. Okay, goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
We'll see you next week.
Yep.
Bye.
We'll see you Thursday.
That's also true. That's true. It is this week. Ha ha.